Dogfish, deliberating. Dogfish, I'm the dude.
One minute, dude.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, fight!
I really like the baby cow at the end of that.
They're all dogs.
Yeah.
Every animal identifies as a dog. They are dogs.
They're dogs.
Yes, they are all dogs. Yep. They're all dog-faced dudes to me.
You're in that movement?
Yeah, this is number 58 of
Equality
3D.
among dogs?
Yeah. It's our meeting for dog equality, of course, where all dogs are equal.
You have to have a flag. Nobody's going to listen to you if you don't have your own flag.
Yeah, okay, we could work on a flag.
Well, we'd probably just use Steve's shirt.
That'll work. Uh-huh.
Which, I mean, I realize if you are the state, and that's why you have a flag, it's probably kind of almost anti-state, but that's us. It's okay.
Right.
Like, even if we were the state, you should be anti-state.
Right. Fair.
I think there's a insurrection happening at the White House as we speak. I think the backhoe's demolishing a wall, so they are literally insurrecting it right now. But I think that's the dictionary definition.
I don't feel like it's a liberal running that backhoe, though.
Probably not.
But they've breached it. They've taken it down.
They're like girls. They don't do infrastructure jobs.
I'm a little confused as to what it's going to be called. Is it a ballroom? Are they going to have dances there? Is this a wedding banquet hall?
Yeah, this is going to be like the old saggy version of Eyes Wide Shut.
Okay, so
like they're going to be like, I want my eyes shut, because there's all the skin has where do your tits start and your knees, and I don't even know. It's all just kind of one gelatinous pile.
Will they host the prom for the Washington, D.C. high school? Is there a Washington, D.C. high school?
Well, there's I mean, a number of public and private high schools. There's I think it's like St. Edward's is where Barron went.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's making things up, Marcus.
I'm not. I saw this in relation to like a WNBA player that was acting like she came from the hood. Or no, it wasn't that. It was Whitney Cummings. It was Whitney freaking Cummings. Whitney acts like she came from poverty in DC. She grew up in Georgetown and went to the same private school as Trump's kid.
Unfortunate last name. Unfortunate.
Well, I mean, you know, Elon Musk was just a poor young boy from South Africa with nothing who came up by the grit of his teeth and he pulled his bootstraps up. He pulled the emeralds out of his pocket and built that company from nothing.
Right. Yeah, he is a true African American success story, and we yeah.
When you have stories like that floating around, why not? You know, why not claim you were from the poor? I'm one of the poors.
But I mean, it's 2025. If we go back 100 years, that's right in the middle of the Gilded Age, right before the giant crash. So why not build the Trump International Grand Ballroom and Casino UFC venue / creepy old world leader orgy pit? Why would you not do that right in the heart of the new Gilded Age? He even said it's the new golden era in America. It's golden age. It's the new golden age. Well, it's the new Gilded Age, that's for sure. So yeah, I mean, it kind of does make sense.
Did you say gilded?
For far too many people, yes.
So GELD, gilded, or gilded. I think those are two different words with two different meanings. But let's pretend we're
I don't know. It depends on what era we're talking about, because this era of nutless dudes, Crucible crew, it's an era of nutless dudes. Gilded age might seem more appropriate.
What is a crucible?
That'll be next week's thumbnail, Ben.
Thought we're celebrating Diwali today.
It'll be that scene from History of the World where Gregory Hines is pretending to be a eunuch.
Oh, fucking A.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking A. That is so damn funny. History of the World is just, you know what? If Spaceballs doesn't come back and burn every bridge that's ever been, I am going to be totally, then Hollywood is dead. Everything
they're not, man.
Like you would
when they did History of the World Part 2 and released it on like Hulu or something like that. I had I had logins for Hulu at the time, and I watched it, and it was terrible. Absolutely terrible. It was fucking Wanda Sykes. In far too many skits. The only funny thing they really did, and it's impossible to find because it's, like triple protected, can't be out there, property of Hulu and Mel Brooks and shit like that, was they did like a parody of ancestry.com, and it was concestry.com, and it was all of the people who have fucking Kubla Khan DNA in them.
Now that's funny.
It was that was good, but like that was kind of it. It was disappointing, and I got high as fuck for it too. I was trying. I wanted to believe. I was willing to help to get there.
That's the way I felt when I watched Zoolander. Oh, Toasty already put us in here. Thanks, Toasty. I don't know how to delete it now. It looks stupid that I reposted it.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I'm so bad at computer stuff. Remove, embed, delete message. Yes.
So, gilded means castrated. What does gilded mean?
Gilded means that you have taken and put shinies on it.
You have covered it in gold.
Sugar coated. Okay.
Giving it the shiny.
Well, no, it's not sugar coated. It's like literally, gold covered or golden.
It's a falsely pleasant appearance, meaning it could be sugar coated. And is there any way we could sugar coat the next announcement of victory? You guys ready to take a victory lap?
We are
taking full responsibility for being the.
Do we need balaclavas before we claim full responsibility for anything? How does that go?
I think we need some magazines and we cut out letters and we glue them together and send a note claiming that we are responsible for the implosion of a crucible, and a crucible being like a trial by fire. Well, these guys felt a little bit of warmth on their bottom, and they were like, nope, can't toast my gilded self.
Turns out that crucible is rather brittle.
Yeah,
cracks pretty damn easy. Yeah, we gave Rob Knorr and Marte a dog stomping, and the thing is I didn't even rub that in because I felt like it was a debate that they couldn't win anyways. I was like, Marte kind of roped Rob into a debate that there was, unless we were 18-year-old OnlyFans girls that they could just run over by being mean bullies, there's zero chance that they could win this. So, and they showed cracks, and Rob kept getting more and more dislikable as the debate went on. And if you watched the chat over at Sarah's, you could see people were just tired of hearing that dude, and it's just all been bad sense. He's been making fun of, and he lost it. He just kind of lost his temper, and it was over a nothing. Like, the dude apparently doesn't know how to just have an exchange of ideas that you disagree on. He's got to make you his mortal enemy, and he's got to be your mortal enemy. Tony Coriolis. Guess whose birthday it was yesterday? Happy birthday, Tony. What's up, Chris Miner?
Tony.
Happy birthday.
Marcus, are you going to do the full thing then? To you.
Do you want me to take it all off now?
No.
Do I jump out of the cake?
I ain't got no Bitcoins yet.
What are we doing? How are we celebrating Tony's birthday? Keeping our clothes on? I thought we were supposed to jump out of a cake.
You're going to have to ask Tony. It's his birthday.
Right.
It's Tony's choice.
Al Gore definitely needs help with rhythm.
Right. But Rod was just kind of on tilt and then went on a panel the next day and really acted a fool on the panel, really made an asshole of himself. And so some of the people that do these kind of things and go on panels and whatnot, they went and had another panel and they were talking about it, and they were just poking fun at his behavior. You know when you're acting a fool, and when your friends make fun of you for acting a fool, it's okay. Steve and I and Marcus make fun of each other consistently.
True.
Yeah, like even during that debate, Steve and I are making fun of each other.
It happens.
And doing a better job of it than the other two dumbasses were. Like, come on, if you're gonna roast Steve, make it funny.
Having a lot more fun.
We were definitely having a lot more fun.
We definitely had more fun. And then because Sarah Tomato joined in on it and was goofing around, she was into some White Claws and having a good time, just being silly. And
ain't no laws when you drinking claws.
Right. And Andrew Wilson went off the fucking deep end. But if you ask me, he was already wanting to go off the deep end because he was butthurt because Sarah was starting to rein him in during, if you watch his debates on her channel, the last like 3 or 4, she's been trying to rein him in, and he's, because he misbehaves like a motherfucker and then pretends like he doesn't. And in the last debate, she debated that dude that looked like he was like from Full House or something. I think some dude that John something, that Fusel gang or something that Andrew had met on Pierce Morgan, and Andrew kept just over talking him and not letting the guy get his points out. And so Sarah turned on a timer and made it so only one person could talk for 1 minute, and then one person could talk for the other minute. And I think Andrew's been looking to pick a fight with her since.
Sounds like the job of a moderator to keep time and make sure one person speaks at a time. And this idea of being unbiased.
You damn straight. Toasted and I were giving each other mad shit. Here we are hanging out. It's cool. It's okay to give each other shit. That's okay.
That's how you balance the debate. Everybody gets equally mistreated. Super chat from Tony.
One Australian no during the show is a good gift. Not to me. Nar. Fuck. Thank you, Tony.
Getting all wound up like a siren, like they're gonna drop bombs on us.
Oh, he got so worked up, and it's like Steve and I are clearly fucking around. And that dude, and that made it worse because then we're laughing at him and how wild he's getting and saying 3 million words in a fucking 2-minute span, and just like thinking if he gets really amped up and talks really fast that makes a point.
Passion. Yeah, I wanted to hear about the hellfire and the brimstone and how you guys were going to hell.
Against like libtards and against most people, that actually is intimidating because they've never had people act like that. Steve and I have been in Midwestern hockey fights. You gotta hit my case before I start thinking that there's something going on here. Like, you just getting antsy is not going to impress me. You better start pulling my shirt up over my back, and then some alarms are going to go off.
Right.
Do you think Rob was trying to do some sort of Alex Jones level of theatrics?
I think he knew that he lost on argument, so he had to resort to theatrics and filibustering.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Severe filibustering.
And every time, like, he kind of had a breath, either me or Ben would be like, "You done, buddy?" You know?
Keep
A lot of
going.
words there, Tiger. Dang.
Keep going.
I mean, you could say all the words, but it didn't really help your case. I mean, but you definitely sounded like the Too Short of fucking debate. You and Destiny can fucking go fucking crunch up a fucking bunch of Adderalls and snort a line of them together and say all the words.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. So I guess the open question now is Debate Con. Is it still on, or was it already not selling enough tickets, so they needed to create a diversion for an excuse to say, well, this is the reason why this event isn't being held anymore. I don't know.
They're going to claim bomb or other kind of threats, threats on lives, that sort of thing.
Just don't feel safe anymore.
Yeah, they hadn't planned for that kind of security. It's not something that's in their budget, so they're going to
after Charlie, these big guys, and this is what's hilarious, because then Rob Norris fucking rants after this about how much better he is than the people on the panel versus shit like that, and the other debaters and shit, and you're like, dude, with Andrew Wilson telling his people to go sub to your channel, you've managed to squeak your way up to 15,000. Like, there with nothing organic about it, and that's not even good numbers. Like, you would think with and Andrew Wilson acting like, and then Andrew Wilson's out there like, what have you people done? What movements have you made and changed? Dude, you got 250,000 subs. Get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? That's way bigger than we'll ever be. Way bigger. But in the grand scheme of things, like Charlie Kirk had like 4 million. You've got a quarter of one of those. And for him, and there's still most of the country outside of the people that delve into political stuff. Most people still don't even know who that guy is.
Hey Ben, do you want to introduce Toasty?
Yeah. This is one of the guys that comes over and he chats on Sarah's channel. Him and I've thrown elbows. Pretty good guy. Come on in, Toasty.
What's up, you guys? How you guys doing? Balderson, you didn't tell me it was your fucking friend's birthday. Otherwise, I would have definitely jumped on. So what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, our buddy Tony. Tony is the shit. Anybody that doesn't know.
Well, nice to meet you, Tony, and happy birthday.
Tony's in the chat. Tony's in the chat. You want to come up, Chris?
Well, shout out to Tony then.
We'll get
Tony in my wife's heart, Tony will forever hold a place. Mine also for that, but in my wife's especially, we went to, because I'm one of the speakers at Flattoberfest, one of the live speakers and stuff, and I go around and do some stuff like that. And it was during Hurricane Helene, so our event got ruined, and we ended up stuck in tents behind this hotel that was more than jam packed because of Hurricane Helene. And so we were like 5 days without showering, and the wife was not happy at all. Send Mr. Miner a link, please, Marcus.
Do that. Mm-hmm.
And wife was not happy, and Tony was one of the lucky ones that actually had a room. So Tony let us shower in his room and not smell like we hadn't showered in 5 days for the next 5 days.
Didn't you tell Tony? Don't you know the power of the woman verse? You don't fucking piss him off.
I've heard that.
Mm-hmm.
Heard a lot of that.
But this whole fucking drama shit, it's absolutely fucking nuts. I have never seen somebody lie through their fucking teeth so goddamn much. I was like, dude. Like he is fucking lying about everything. He absolutely knew what the fucking deal was. If he didn't, just on a good grace chance that he fucking didn't, okay, let's just grant that. He either didn't fucking read everything that I fucking sent him and just nodded his head like a stupid little fucking lolcow that he is and just agreed to it and then was shocked and unprepared, or he just thought, you know what, I'm going to curl into a ball and wait for my mama to show up. Like, who the fuck does that? It was a fight.
Yeah. This stuff's been this last 4 days has just been wild to watch. And the weird part for me is, had they just laughed, like I said, we've given each other shit. Steve and I, you know, give each other shit consistently. If they just would have laughed about it and went, oh yeah, and then just had a bunch of people come, maybe go shit on, you know, go make smart ass comments on one of Sarah's shows, and they could all had a good laugh about it. And there needed to be no craziness about this. And these dudes act like little fucking. And here's what's weird to me: that's the patriarch crew. Why are you running around going and getting all your friends to? Oh, I'm mad at Tiffany. You need to be mad at Tiffany too. Oh, you are, girl. You're on my team, right? Girl power. Like, that's seriously what's going on right here. You're high school mean girls.
Right. I thought Andrew doesn't like e-girls.
The Crucible is acting like a bunch of entitled Tiffany's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry, no offense to Tiffany's out there listening.
You know what you did, Tiffany. You know what you did.
Yeah, they are, and it's really wild, and it's disrespectful to fucking everybody, to be honest. I mean, they could have just made a bunch of fucking money poking fun of each other, but no, they got to fucking have a fucking bitch fit.
100%. It could have been fun. It could have been a silly little thing, like you said. They would have made a lot of money because everybody would have went over and made some shots at the other team, and everybody laugh about it, and then you're friends again, and no harm, no foul. Who cares?
Right. Hey, it was an experimental little fuck off thing that I was doing. I was working on a project. I was like, you know what? I want to make a little space that's going to be a little bit tougher than Sarah's to deal with. You know what I mean? You know, some people can get fucking personal, up close and personal with each other, have a fucking fist fight. Everybody goes, ooh, there goes his fucking teeth. All that kind of shit, you know? Everybody comes out of the fucking thing. They get to make all the fucking content they want. They get to make all the fucking money that they fucking want. Everything would have been cool. But no, Rob had to pull that fucking bullshit.
Yeah. Well, and there was no coming back, because then Andrew said that Sarah had to pay Rob $10,000 and tell him that she was going to shut her stupid bitch mouth up or something along that line.
What? Based on what?
Uplands, based on that she tried to cost Rob money by tanking his channel. Like, he's trying to make it out like she was
fucking
no. Here, I'm not going to put any words into anybody's mouth, but here's what I think is really, really the deal. Sarah was a bigger channel than Rob originally. Rob was basically becoming dead water fucking content. His shit wasn't going anywhere. People were paying money to stare at his fucking chair.
Yeah.
He was out of ideas. So what he fucking did was that, oh, you know what, Sarah? I know you just fucked up. So I'm going to tell Andrew to do a population transfer to me. That's what I think happened.
Oh, Chris Miner's dropping in too. Hell yeah. It's a party.
Sure thing. Yeah. Having a little harvest festival.
You know what's funny? So do you know who Owen Benjamin is, Toasty?
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
Owen, do you know who Owen Benjamin is?
No.
Well, he's actually Hollywood. He's got a couple of movies. I don't know the names of them. They're romantic comedies. I don't watch romantic comedies. He was like engaged to the girl who played Casper. So he's like actual Hollywood. He had a TV show, all that shit. So he's got a community called the Bears. They call themselves the Bears.
Okay.
And I watched Owen go through this, and Jim Bob, actually, this is one of the places Jim Bob came from. He was friends with Owen Benjamin also. That's how Jim Bob and I know each other, because we were both friends with Owen. And then Owen would do shit like this. Well, he decided one day that he was going to turn on him, and Jim Bob they had that little Trinity debate, and Owen just went unhinged on Jim Bob. Well, at the same time, he went unhinged on like 2 or 3 other dudes that I knew, and was calling them PDF files and shit like that, saying that they were using meth, things like that, just saying some real nasty shit. So I came unhinged on Owen over it, and quit being friends with him.
I wouldn't say you were unhinged. You had a very thoughtful response to say, this is going far enough as a man sending an open letter to another man, because this is all public information now. You're putting your foot down to say, this is where you stand, and this is what you see, and this behavior is no longer acceptable.
I would have maybe been more understanding if Sarah, for example, said something more fucking wild.
Right.
Then I might have been a more understanding than that. But what she said wasn't even really that big of a deal.
No,
it wasn't really that big of a deal.
It was more playful. She wasn't like overly critical, and she wasn't wrong that if I don't care if you're from the Crucible or who you are, if you come onto the show, the fans of that show, and you act like a fool, the fans of that show are going to let you know what they think, and that's all that she was saying. Which isn't even her putting her actual opinion into it. She's saying if the fans disapprove, the fans are going to let you know.
Exactly.
And, it really wasn't a big deal.
No, it wasn't.
It just went.
He just can't roll with the punches. He can't. He has to take everything fucking seriously with a stick up his ass.
Yeah. Well, you could tell the dude's never been punched in the mouth. 100%.
100%. He's never. I don't even think he's ever been in a fucking fist fight. He was one of those fat little chubby kids whose mama always protected him.
Yeah.
That's what I honestly think the fucking deal is.
Yeah.
And you know what? He can come at me for it. I don't give a shit. I'm going to say whatever the fuck I want. Because guess what, motherfuckers? I don't work for the fucking Crucible.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that shit's nuts. Why didn't Steve pull Chris up?
They can kiss my fucking ass. I don't got no fucking viewers that they can tank.
So
exactly,
we have some new viewers tuning in, not understanding who Toasty is. The man, Toasty.
Toasty is our friend Sarah that we go on her show sometimes and whatnot. She's went through some shit just recently with the Andrew Wilson from the Crucible, and Toasty is also associates with Sarah's show. So we were talking about it right before the show.
I just want to make it clear, I do not represent her show in any way at all. What she wants to do is what she wants to do, whatever that is. I just run into her chat and fuck with people.
I think she's handled this extraordinarily well and very honorably, and I think they're acting like high school mean girls. Yeah.
I would say I would agree with that. And I mean, it's just absurd. I got together with a friend, and I was going over the whole thing because it is true. Rob is a big channel, and I was a little bit worried about the fucking optics and the blowback on that because you know how everything landed. But I was going over it with a friend, and we were talking about it, and I was like, this is really not that big of a fucking deal. Like, they're losing their fucking panties over nothing.
100%. It totally could have been just a fun little game, and they turned it into a penny attack. And this is why I say Rob obviously has never been punched in his face, because if you've been in actual fights, you don't act like some petty shit like this is that big of a deal. You're like, oh, nobody punched me in the face. It's all right. Like,
also, I want to apologize if I'm picking up any wind or anything like that. I'm on my porch having a cigarette while I talk with you guys.
Oh, that's fine.
All right.
We want to hear. From your
I'm just apologizing because I know that feedback in your guys' headphones and whatnot can get fucking drive you mad.
Me and Steve are dirty boys too. Not Marcus though. Marcus, he is pure and clean. And 2 Bitcoins. 2 Bitcoins for the. We need the Bitcoins for the high value man if that's what you want. You don't get to sample the
half a
goods before
Bitcoin
the
to buy
bid.
into bid, 2 Bitcoin minimum to bid.
That's just to get a good look at the goods. No sampling until you put some Bitcoins up.
Very true. Very true. And this is the conversation of high value men who went through the Crucible debate university process, and this is how they're turned out. I mean, we should know them by their fruit, right? This is the fruit that they're putting out.
$250 to just learn how to curl up into a ball on the floor? Really?
And he said that Rob's their best debater. He's better. Andrew said he's better than me.
No shit.
That clip was quite funny to hear Mr. Wilson say that Rob was their best debater in terms of politics, but it was interesting to note that Steve's name was never mentioned in terms of political commentators, debaters, people who put
what's he saying about Jake?
Not a whole lot. I haven't heard a lot.
Like, if it was me, if I was Andrew Wilson, I wouldn't have touched this shit at all. I would have told Rob, be a fucking man and deal with your own goddamn problems.
You bet. That's exactly what I would have said. I would have said,
get up, son. Learn how to punch
you
back.
Have gray in your beard? Why are you even bitching to me about this? What the fuck is wrong with you?
For real. It's not like Rob is some little fucking tadpole in the pond learning the ropes.
Oh, he was before Andrew. Purposely, and Andrew says this in a video. He says the Crucible sunk a bunch of money and time and effort into growing that channel. It's 6 months ago, before Rob was part of the Crucible crew. His channel only had like 1,400 subs or something like that.
Imagine that, and just imagine that, fellas, for your future business ventures. Oh, he got fucking tanked and ruined by a fucking nobody from the Midwest.
Exactly. See,
I don't even have a single fucking viewer or a sub. I got like 5 subs. That's it.
I got like 5,000.
It's not about the size of the audience. It's about the cultural influence we have. We might not have a lot of subscribers, but the things we say, the very specific phraseology we use, the intentional mispronunciations of words for humorous effect have been repeated by other people. We sense this. We know this. This is how we wink at each other and say, I know you watch me. I know you watch. I watch you too. This sort of thing. But then to go out in a public setting, on a public live stream, to take everything you've been building and then just like knock over the sandcastle and say, no one can play on this beach anymore. The beach is closed. No more swimming.
Right.
No more fun.
Like that's what I was wondering when I was watching his reaction video. I was like, so what? You're done debating? Andrew should just let you go now? He's like, I'm not going on any of these panels. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. Fuck these guys. I don't fucking need them. I'm like, okay, so I guess you're done. Your career's over.
That's the whole thing. So, and we're gonna have to be very sensitive about the way we say some of these things. So, in 2020, Marcus and I and Steve are all in a community where the events that were going on in 2020, the people that was the year that YouTube first really started doing what we call the purges. And anybody that was talking about those things, they got their channels cut out, and then they were not allowed to grow also. And this kind of thing comes and goes. So at first, what happened with some of the bigger channels like I don't know if you've ever heard of Freeman Fly, like that guy was a giant. He had literal millions of subs before YouTube was even a thing. He was the first big channel on YouTube.
No, I don't. I'll be honest. I'm not a real big follower of all this YouTube stuff, despite what everybody thinks. Well, I don't really spend a whole lot of my time in the internet.
He's pre-YouTube. Do you know who? What's his name? The Man on a Pale Horse. Or Behold a Pale Horse.
Behold a Pale Horse author. That's good trivia. Chat. Is chat listening?
Marcus, just say the name, shit. Cooper. Bill Cooper. shithead. Damn you, Marcus. So thank you, Tony. Tony nailed it. So he's contemporary with guys like Bill Cooper, the guys that were like calling out 9/11 before it happened, all that kind of stuff. And so when all that first generation of purging happened, those bigger channels, they went and they thought, well, we'll just do our own channel on our own station. That way it can't get taken away, which is smart. But then they also pulled their fishing pole out of the YouTube pool.
They put up a wall
and that
garden.
was fine for a little while. But the problem is people will listen to you for a year, maybe 2 years, and then they don't listen to you for a while. So your sub count needs to be something that can be rotating. It needs to, as you lose, you need to be able to refill. And the problem is once that happened to those guys, as they lost people, there was no refill on it. So all these really large names that were giants back in the day, all their channels are just gone and nobody remembers them. And all that stuff's been deleted. And so that's what happens when you start isolating yourself. So the Crucible, while Andrew's like, I don't need them, I'm above them, blah, blah, blah. And exactly. Yeah, absolutely. That show only had 20,000 where yours has 200,000. But guess what? If you don't have that revolving door of new recruits coming in, your channel will eventually shrink. It's just how it works.
And then that's another thing I was wanting to kind of get at just a little bit. If he's going to say something like that, what's that say to everybody else that works for him?
Mm-hmm.
Just quickly, what's up, Chris? How's it going?
Welcome, Chris.
Thanks for having me.
Middle of a deconstruction, a post-mortem of a panel versus implosion disaster of these certain faces that we've seen online, and we've poked at them. And Jay Dyer was the first to block, and then Rob Noor was on X, and he was like, "Okay, finally agreed to do it." So there's people like Andrew Wilson we were in communication with behind the scenes, and he'll claim that's not true. That's not. We have the direct messages on X. That's how I put my email on screen. I say, email me. No one emails me. I get an Instagram DM. Okay, so this is how the biggest channels do it. Personal messages on social media. Okay, so we have a conversation happening publicly, and then it goes private, and then it's public, and some public, some private. It's pushing towards, well, let's collaborate, let's stream together. Your channel or mine, Sarah's channel. The moderation, we need a neutral platform to have a fair fight, this type of thing. Let's plan for an event. We'll bring our audience, you bring your audience, and we'll have some fun together. Well, when someone takes their ball off the court and says, I don't want to play anymore, do you even have a league anymore? Is there even a season anymore?
Not for them, right?
No, because they will be replaced by someone else.
Exactly.
Because they are one perspective, and once that perspective decided, well, we've got who we've got, and the people who aren't going to change their mind are just going to poo-poo us and make fun of us and mock us relentlessly. Well, that's not very fun. So we'll just go over to our own church and close our doors and sing in our own choir.
Yeah, that's pretty lame. Pretty lame. And also, I don't mean to interrupt you guys venting about how horribly lame this all sounds. So don't let me interrupt if you guys were in the flow of things. Steve, brother. Alan, Ben, so good to see all you three. And
we don't intend on making a show of it. It's just something that has been happening. That's big. Our friend that we go on her show, Sarah Tomato, is deep in this muck. It's not something we're personally involved in. Although we do feel like Steve and I definitely added to the impetus of this when we showed Rob Noor with some cracks in he lost his shit in a debate that was just a silly debate. Like we feel
you guys were definitely the iceberg, and they were sailing through some frigid waters.
Yeah, but put that Tony's comment up. And this is something that's always just been ongoing. So when Marcus says that Rob finally agreed, he didn't really. Rob was supposed to debate Steve on politics because Rob's the political debating master, and Rob has never done that or showed up. So, but Rob doesn't know us well enough to remember our names. And Marte set that debate up and then invited Rob into it. And Rob didn't really realize who Steve and I were.
Well, here's the really funny aspect about all this. Here's the really funny aspect about all this that I don't really think anybody's touched on yet. If we really step back and see and look at what the fuck just happened, they're mad that a woman criticized them.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, for sure.
Send your fucking wives, boys.
You know what's funny is I'm actually an old-fashioned patriarch. Like I live that old-fashioned life. My wife brings me my food and my drinks and things like that. But that doesn't mean you got to be a shitbag. You know, the whole thing is, and I talk about this. For me, the epitome of a man is husbandry. So your wife is supposed to love you so much that she wants to do those things for you. And you are supposed to love her so much that
you want to do anything she needs you to.
You like that. It's an equal exchange. Like I build the world where Christy is safe to be who she is, and in return, I get that special love that somebody that a woman that's safe gets to give me.
And you get that subservience.
Yeah. And that only came through trust of me making good husbandry decisions that she knows I will always choose the best for her.
Right. If she doesn't trust you, then why should she give you any of that?
100%. And if you haven't shown that in the past, why would she trust you with that? This is why I talk about husbandry as the epitome of man. And this was, in my opinion, starts out with like a young boy when you get like your own dog or cat. This animal can't tell you what it needs. You need to watch it and work with it and understand it, truly understand it. So that way, if it's not feeling good, you're like, oh, look, my dog's acting lethargic. You only know that it's lethargic because you're used to it acting in a certain way that you pay attention to.
Exactly.
So these are the husbandry skills that you start carrying on to a higher and higher level.
Just to add on to you just a little bit, you got to care about wanting to be a husband in order for you to get involved and be involved in her life, know what's going on in her life, all that stuff. And then when you do that, women open up like flowers.
100%. 100%.
They will give you any fucking thing you want.
That loving mother that becomes free when she feels like she can be, that is the epitome of woman.
Right. Now, that doesn't mean you have to give in to every stupid ass thing she wants. Let's just be honest about that.
No, you don't even actually pay attention to what she's saying. Like, you pay attention just like with everything else you learn, because women will say one thing but need another thing. And
you gotta learn that body language. That's for sure.
100%.
You gotta learn how to read their body language. That's what a lot of guys really miss.
Yep. Their behaviors, their body language, the mood of
their eyes.
Yeah, if
the way their nostril flares, everything.
Yeah, the thing coming out of this, that's a distraction. Your ass had better have figured it out before she ever says words.
Yep. like that's what I noticed about most successful like marriages and stuff like that. That husband, he knows exactly what she's fucking pissed off about. That wife, he knows exactly what he's pissed off about because they've spent so much time around each other. They learn each other's mannerisms.
Yep.
But if you're just like one of those, I don't know, let's just say for an example, those fucking electrician guys who go, oh, I'm all tired. I don't give a shit. Just give me my food, woman. Yada yada yada. Where's my fucking beer, bitch? And all that stuff. I don't mean any TOS violations, by the way. I'm not up on all that. But
I don't believe bitch is a
TOS just stop me if I am.
It's really weird what is and what isn't. Like the list is almost kind of ridiculous. You're like, I don't understand. But
and see that's another thing I was kind of wanting to play with that debate. So like what I instructed my mod to do was if they stayed on topic, she was to do as best as she could to moderate fairly, right?
Yeah.
And I said if you notice though that they're starting to pick a fight with each other, just sit back and monitor for TOS violation.
Yeah.
I said, if they want to, and if you want to grant that interaction, they can challenge you on that TOS violation, and you guys can talk about that for a minute. But you got final fucking say. Put your foot down and put an end to it whenever you want. So when everybody's all saying like your mod was a shitty mod and she didn't do her job, I was like, fuck you. She did exactly what I wanted her to.
Yeah, no, that's the way her panel is set up. You can choose different panels if you want. Like her panel specifically is she basically just makes sure you aren't doing TOS and aren't over talking each other. Other than that, he can say whatever he wants. If you don't like what he said, say something back when it's your turn.
Right. And see, and that's another thing I noticed. I was going back over the footage. I noticed Rob interrupted Ryan first.
Dude, Rob is interrupting as fuck, and then he fucking not only interrupts, he filibusters as he's interrupting.
Dude, that guy, I was listening to that guy fucking talk to Trippy last night on Speakeasy. That motherfucker went for like 25 fucking minutes, not allowing Trippy to say a fucking thing.
Yeah, he is a filibustering son of a bitch if I ever seen one. He's got that musician's trick where they breathe while they're talking at the same time.
Chris, do you know about that? Where you're just like, because sustaining a long note. I mean, I was in choir. I was singing bass too, and most of the songs, the notes are. What do? I just intone a low bass.
Yeah.
For the entire page, I'm just going ooh for the entire page just to fill in that. Okay. Well, how do I do that? Well, breathe in and then continue.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, man. I don't know how many times I've used it in a conversation, though. I don't know about that.
There are a number of people throughout the internet world that have mastered the circular breathing tactic while in the middle of a good rant, and it's fascinating which ones they are and who they it's I don't know. They come from where you would least expect it, but I know a handful of them, and there's a couple of them that are very good friends of mine. But man, once you just wind them up, dude, you just stand back and let them go. They'll kind of let you know when they're done, whenever it is that may be.
Right, and see that's where the real disrespect came in. Is because Rob had muted the fucking panel and just started talking to his fucking audience, and everybody was like, "Hey, dude, what the fuck? It's your turn now. It's your turn now.
That's a
your
break
turn
of
now."
a social contract to say, well, we understand that we're friends and there's just 5 of us in a room and we're talking to each other like it's a private call, but there's an audience listening. So then we'll acknowledge the audience. When the audience is watching and it's not entertaining and there's no reason to watch because someone is on a panel but not giving their full attention to that panel that they're on primarily, and then having a side chat with their own audience, and maybe they're saying something silly or they're dunking on other people. And so it's like you can't have 5 different devices to watch all the streams, to see all the chats when one event is happening. So it was beginning to divert all the attention. So when Steve and Balderson were debating Marte and Rob Noir and the Sarah Tomato panel, and all the chat was happening there, and it wasn't going well for Rob. Rob the blob. Rob is a blob. He's a slob. And everyone was just going after Rob, not saying Rob's making a great argument. They're saying Rob isn't arguing at all. He's just talking a lot for 5 straight hours.
Like, if you don't want to participate, my guy, then just say, hey, I don't want to participate in this anymore, and just jump the fuck off.
Well, in fairness, it's not like Marte was doing anything other than just flaring his nostrils and occasionally nodding or shaking his head. And he blamed Benadryl.
As a good sidekick should do.
He misspelled it. It's Ben and Steve. That was his problem.
Not Benadryl. It was a typo.
The prescription Ben and Steve. Yeah, that'll
autocorrect.
That's you're right. And so at some point, the panel verse just kind of had their penalty box words without the penalty box. So they'd keep saying, "Oh, there's a prescriptive. There's an ought. There's another word that they kept using over and over." And it was just like, okay, let's just pause for a moment and think of the meta language we're using here. It's like everyone's using the same word, prescriptive. What is the best version of this thing? Well, what's actually happening? So instead of arguing the event that actually happened and the fallout from it, if the debate prompt is who's worse for society, George Floyd or Destiny, and someone's trying to say, well, you know, if it was Ben Carson, we're not arguing Ben Carson.
Right.
We're not playing these games. We're sticking to what the argument is, and within the bounds of that, we're having fun with it. We understand it's a ridiculous prompt, but part of this is also theater. It's world wrestling. It's word wrestling entertainment where we're not trying to get tongue tangled, but Rob's waggling tongue back and forth was not steering the ship and mooring it in the right direction. So Marte just sort of said, I'm feeling real sleepy right now. I don't know where this is going.
Well, that's because his argument
for Marte.
That's because Marte's arguments got burnt so bad. Steve and I never responded to him. We just laughed at him while he was giving them, and then never brought it up. Like, yeah, we're not even giving that the dignity of a response.
It all happens for a reason. All of the property destruction that happened as a result of people celebrating the life of Mr. George Floyd, it created more laws and gave us an exposure to like security flaws that we could patch up with more legislation and more security and more cameras in the community.
That shit was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't know how to argue against anyone but dumb whores. And despite Balderson being a saucy little minx, you know, it's just he is a far greater mental capacity than your average OnlyFans hoe, and I think that's what threw them off a little bit. They were unprepared, and you know, arguing in terms of that his IQ matched his immense beauty, which of course, you know, he is far smarter than that.
And also, Steve and I are not impressed by their bravado. Like, they're used to running over people, because the thing is, you can have a completely losing argument and the other person knows it's wrong, and if you can bowl them over. Well, bitch tits is not going to bowl over either of us. Like, that's not happening.
Right.
No, that's the one thing I noticed from this whole fucking fallout. Rob really doesn't have any aggressive game. He doesn't.
No.
He doesn't.
No,
he doesn't know how to push back when he's being pushed around. He can't do it. He's, I don't know, too nice or something about it. I don't know.
He's Cartman from fucking South Park. Respect my authority.
And then somebody slaps him, and
Somebody slaps him, and the fucking Crucible falls apart harder than the Twin Towers.
Dude.
Andrew comes out. He's my friend. How dare you come after my friend?
You notice he didn't say anything about me or Ben, who sat there for 5 hours just fucking trouncing him and making fun of him every time we got a word in. And we had far superior arguments, laughed in his face about his moronic fucking premise, wouldn't accept that, and he just got his record started skipping. And he was just caught in this little self-flagellating doom loop and becoming more and more hysterical and histrionic as the night went on. And that's not how Ben or I are ever going to argue. So it just fundamentally looks so much worse in comparison.
Right. Yep.
Bad arguments, and you didn't come off likable. Like there's two giant components of the debate: likability and actual argumentation. When you lose on both counts, you lose. That's just how that works.
Right. Like you don't like you want, even if you've got the bad argument, you want the audience to want you to come fucking back. So
You bet.
even if you've got a bad argument, you better have the fucking charisma to back it up.
Yep.
You got to have the showmanship. If you don't got the showmanship, if you're not an entertainer, you're not going to go very far.
Yep. I had a debate with the two Craigs on Sarah's channel, and I definitely had the high ground. It was me and Flow State, and we had the high ground on our argumentation, but those guys controlled the debate, and it didn't come off well for me and Flo, and that's just the fact of it. And I had to learn lessons off of that. Yeah, Marty leads. Yeah, as we're talking about cults, because this is 100% a cult, and right now anybody that's straying from the cult is getting dressed down by the cult, and you're seeing that in real time. Again, something I watched with the Bears also, and Marty Leeds, who literally has in his contract, you cannot disagree with the cult leader, like, or else the cult will come after you.
Yurt McGirt and the Olive Jar Militia.
Well, here's what I want to know. Here's what I want to know. Well, I'm pretty sure we all heard fucking Andrew Wilson say that it was pretty much open season on Rob. He didn't give a fuck about that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what he said.
So
over and over.
Isn't that throwing your buddy under the fucking bus or what?
Oh,
Yeah,
well, what is that? What does that mean? Like anybody can make fun of Rob? Is that what that means? Or
exactly,
like,
that's what I'm wondering now.
Because he's trying to extort Sarah Tomato for 10K over fucking
Right.
nothing.
And she has to go on live YouTube and say that she is a dumb bitch or whatever, and she needs to shut her own mouth.
Right, and what's she supposed to do with that abuse?
Isn't that kind of
there's no answer to
contradictory?
that.
I need you to publicly say to as many people that will listen that you're going to not use your mouth. So is it going to be like the fucking NXS video where she just holds up cards in front of the camera?
Yeah, she's going to start doing the RTP thing. I have the talking stick, so I'm right.
Wow. Wow.
Absolutely nuts.
She's going to start bringing talking cards to the tomato show now. She's hush everyone.
This is the conversation tomato pillow. Okay, I'm holding the pillow now. It's not your turn.
So maybe
she's going to send everybody a fucking pillow so everybody got one.
Maybe we can find some corollaries between sort of the insular online panel versus debate culture thing and then the real world activism that happened. A No Kings March happened. So how would you guys disperse a bunch of people in your city that are just congregated real close together? How would you get them to spread out real quick and stop doing their dancing?
Threaten to give them jobs.
Okay.
Tear gas them with high levels of democracy.
High levels of democracy. Okay. Jobs. Jobs requirement. Okay. No loitering.
Yeah.
What? How do you stop a corporate sponsored parade that's filed all of the permits and like for the No Kings thing? If we're specifically talking about that,
like what level? What
that
level
wasn't
of
a protest? That was a parade, and there was tens of millions of dollars thrown into it, and a whole bunch of corporate sponsors, mass media coverage, and then even the media lying about it with here's the thing from 2017, but we're saying it was this thing. That's a parade. That's a pep rally. The average age is 68 and fucking they're all like multiple property owning freaking boomer goofballs who have no idea what the actual world.
So you guys are talking about that the current new King's Parade that happened, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I was kind of going over that a little bit, and I was kind of wondering what the fuck is the purpose of it. Because they were giving interviews to everybody, and there's like, I'm here to show America that I love America, I'm like, what the fuck does that even mean?
It's a Barnum statement. They're called Barnum statements.
Go ahead, Chris.
I would go up to a bunch of them if I have not, I wouldn't want to use my own money. I would assume that whatever operation we were running would have money to disperse the individuals, and I'd say we are going to give you a $65 per diem if you go and protest at the other location in Northern California. We will send you on this bus and go up there and do your thing, and then you can come back later, knowing full well there's no protest of where we're sending them. And I just keep doing that with as many of them as possible. And I think most of them would leave, to tell you the truth.
Drop them off in Oakland.
Yeah.
Just drop them off at homeless camps.
Right.
I thought they were supposed to march up to the gentrified, wealthy districts and then just stand in their neighborhoods and have a barbecue on their lawns. Right.
I feel like half of them have no idea what they're doing.
No, the ones up in Eureka up here, if you go through it, the signs are so wildly different. Like they're protesting like 80 different things all at once, and there's no, you can't really tell what the protest is about. It's just a bunch of old people whining, and then like 8 hippies that are so worthless they can't even get a job at a fucking pot grow.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I'm asking.
Yeah, my favorite was at the protest here. I was standing there and I turned around and I was staring at it while I was getting fuel. And there's a guy that's standing out that looks, he's just not quite acting like the rest of the crowd. And I lean over and look at his sign, and his sign says, I like my whiskey neat. I fucking laughed so hard.
There's been nothing going on over here.
I kind of wonder why people don't just show up like to quote unquote protest, but they're really just fucking trolling everybody the whole time.
It
Wild
seems
ass
to
fucking
be,
signs.
again, it's the numbers game. It's this sort of idea that there's a majority of Americans who support something. This is what the panelists are trying to push with their version of the Goon Squad, the internet hate machine, where they would control things and have sway and this sort of thing. But to go out to the streets when the weather's nice, before the snow falls, before it gets bad, around Halloween time, people are wearing costumes and they take their kids out. It just seems to be another Halloween harvest festival sort of celebration in the streets. So when people are out in the streets, and then you have drones with cameras flying over, say, look at all these people out in the streets, they're all here to support the same. They're not there to support the cause. There are people out in the street because there's music playing and people are in costumes and it's a party and it's a good time. There's no actual protest happening, but I'll circle back to my question and I'll give my answer. There's this thing called skunk water. Have you heard of it?
Yeah, I think it's in my bong right now.
Okay. Yeah. So during this No Kings party in the street event, this block party, I think it was our President Trump who posted a video, an animation where he's flying in a jet fighter and he sprays out some manure, some sort of skunk
Kenny
water.
Loggins is super upset about this, by the way.
Okay, what happened?
I don't know if you saw. Well, it was scored to Highway to the Danger Zone.
Oh,
yeah, and Kenny Loggins is not
Highway to the Danger Zone.
Yeah.
So it's like a Top Gun reference or something. I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is.
And if anybody is transparently gay and oddly religious in a culty way, it is Tom Cruise and Donald Trump.
Okay.
Giving each other equally vigorous hand jobs.
Right. And full eye contact the whole time.
Yeah.
That might be true. But one thing I think we can all agree on is whether you love him or hate him, that dude has generated so many fucking memes.
Oh, dude.
Our God Emperor?
He is. But what do you expect out of a WWF Hall of Famer?
Right.
Like that dude is all about the raunchy entertainment. And in my opinion, and it has been for many years, politics is just the next step up from WWF. Like, you remember this fake bullshit with the heels and the baby faces when you were a kid that you enjoyed? Well, if you haven't really grown up, but you want to do it different and pretend you've grown up, here's politics.
Yep. Well, and on top of that, I mean, he's an actor, a reality TV, legend. Reality TV is all about faking reality for the most generated public reaction you can get out of it. It's just manipulating a television audience, and now you've got a much bigger television audience. Ooh, thank you.
But see, I see that side of the argument, but I also got to say there's got to be some real things he believes in there somewhere, and he's got to fight with like all those people to make sure his what he wants to do actually comes out on top. So it's maybe there's some entertainment value to it there, but I would also say that there's some level of real shit that goes on there.
There's a little bit. There has to be a grain of truth in any lie that's given to you. So let's look at the current situation. The thing that they're blowing up is Portland is a war zone. They need to import the National Guard because it's a war zone. War. You need National Guard to go to war. Then you go and you start looking at pictures, and the war zone is about half a block large. So in the entire giant city of Portland and suburbs, there's this one little half a block space where there's activity where you have whatever groups they are putting on the show. And that's where all the cameras are pointed. If those cameras turn around and point away from the show, you notice normal city activity going on everywhere. Portland's not shut down. They didn't quit getting supplies, all that kind of thing. So then you start understanding that this is absolutely blown out of proportion. This is ridiculous. Obviously, Portland's not at war. The word war is very specific. As a country, we have not been to war since Vietnam. Like when I served in the Army, I was in the Desert Storm, not a war. Not a war. I was in the Mediterranean conflict, and they called it a conflict, not a war. And so the word war is very specific, and it has a very specific connotation to it. So they're taking, and very similar to the way the Crucible is blowing Sarah out of proportion, they're taking and blowing this nonsense out of proportion in order to justify the reaction. Because if there's not a war, why would you send soldiers? The typical operating procedure of the United States is soldiers guard our perimeters, are outside, and cops guard are inside. It's a separation of power. And for you to take our outside protectors and now sick them on the American public, this requires a high level of hyperbole, which means you get to say things like, in 2013, Obama signed into the NDAA, where now federal propaganda is allowed to be dispersed to American citizens. So they're giving us all the propaganda. And the thing is what makes me say that this is wrestling, Toasty, is that when after Obama, when Trump took office, did he take and roll back that NDAA and say, no, we can't be lying to American citizens and using propaganda on them? Hell no, he didn't. He went right with it. When Trump got out of office the first time, Trump was the one that came up with the pokey pokes and his Operation Warp Speed, and every Republican was all about the pokey pokes. And literally, if you go back and watch the news, the Democrats were like, it's untested, it's unsafe, blah, blah, blah. And the Democrats were all against it. Joe Biden takes office, and literally that week, all of a sudden, every Democrat is fully for the pokey poke, and all the Republicans are like, oh no, it's the bad Democrat. But in the meantime of it, everybody took the pokey poke. The Republicans and the Democrats. They just pretended. So Trump got his side to do it. Biden got his side to do it. When it comes to fighting, propagandizing the United States people, Trump does it. Other side does it. Each thing, when we look at the Freedom Act, which before that was the Patriot Act, the greatest theft of American civil rights in our history that has ever happened. Republicans voted for it. Democrats voted for it.
So far.
And not only did they vote for it once, I'm going to have to get Steve to verify how many days apart, but it was something like every 90 days or every 180 days or something. They had to go in and reauthorize it and have a bipartisan vote. So while they're out there pretending like they're fighting over other shit, They are bipartisanly agreeing to fuck us.
What you're actually saying here is it's coordinated drama.
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So then wouldn't the question be like, shouldn't we actually be like kind of discussing how is the number of National Guard that's being sent into these places extreme or not?
I don't think so.
It is extreme. It's a violation of posse comitatus. It's unconstitutional.
But aside from that, if you look at the way the public looks at things, friggin' JFK sent 30,000 troops to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
For one little event, and everyone loved JFK. So it's like it really is all public opinion and how they feel about the individual doing it.
Can we get a public opinion on the sound check? I think, Chris, you're coming in a little high with your gain.
Am I high? Here, let me turn it.
Does it sound better on Rumble and YouTube for our listeners? Let's get some public opinion on how everyone's sounding.
Please let me know. Please let me know.
Yeah, I'm working on this. Marcus is trying to teach me about this. So when I go on panels and stuff, I don't get over talked because Marcus is teaching me about gain and what little things I need to make my stuffs work.
It's the technology and how the sounds are mixed together. It's that was one of the debate strategies where people would just get right into the microphone, but I think I've got it set in the StreamYard settings to automatically adjust it. So there's no one at the mixer, there's no one at the soundboard. It's just we're all just yapping into the mics, and it's just going out there, and people are hearing it. It's like the airing of grievances during the No Kings situation is okay, fine. People are upset about everything, but when they go out and they air their grievances and they go back and they celebrate Thanksgiving, well, okay, they're still going to eat the same turkey, the same butterball turkey. They're still going to have all the fixings, and they're going to just go back to their daily lives. The No Kings thing was, like protester tourism. It's like they could be a protester for one weekend and have a little bit of fun, make some friends, figure out who they like and who they don't like. This idea, though, that in other war-torn areas, they literally drop the skunk water on. They spray them with skunk water, and not only are the people drenched in the skunk water that doesn't just dissipate with a shower. You have to rub yourself with tomatoes and olive oil to get it out of your skin, and you probably just have to throw your clothes away. It stays in the streets for a long time, so people don't return to those areas because it smells so bad. The only people that will return will be those with their gas masks on and oxygen tanks to clear the area out. So it completely just destroys the entire playing field. I think that's maybe what the Crucible was attempting to do, was just to stink up the whole place, because going back to the Patriot Act and actually looking with our own eyes and reading the documents and saying, well, this is what's happening. Well, you must be a libtard or you must be a libertarian. And then Balderson says, well, neither of those. And Steve says, I don't vote. They're like, you probably don't pay taxes either. And they don't realize that when people don't vote and people don't pay taxes, and then that becomes just a silent group of people that aren't participating in the event that isn't happening. The theater, like as soon as you start saying this is choreographed dance in an octagon, you think it's the most extreme Mortal Kombat fight of all time. There's choreography here. There's planning involved. It's an event. It's moving towards a purpose, and the goal keeps getting within reach, closer and closer. And we're just saying, hey, we're having some fun, but also digital IDs, people on the internet having to say who they actually are, puts everyone in more danger. Having some level of basic anonymity to criticize your kings or leaders is what we want to do. During the lead up to the No Kings event, many people were reminding other people on social media to not sign a registry. Don't sign a guest book. Don't give them your name and address to sign up to receive free literature if you're going to attend the event. The people that sign up for the free literature, or, hey, we want to be politically active and we'd like your support, so we need your address, your mailing address. No. Wait a moment.
it honestly feels to me like that's also what was going on when they opened up the floor to criticizing small hats on X and all them, because we've all been through the purges and we know what they attack and what they don't. Mm-hmm. And and if you attack the small hats, they come after you with a vengeance. Well, then all of a sudden in the last 6 months, they all of a sudden stop doing that. And in my opinion, they're just letting out the rope, and they're going to hang every person that fucking came and took advantage of that.
Data collection for them. They're all just they're breaking the groups down into smaller and smaller and smaller factions of individuals.
So, I know this might be just slightly off topic a little bit, but I kind of was formulating this question in my head as I was listening to you guys talk about this. So then, what do we? If it's coordinated drama, then what do we actually mean by unconstitution? If they're just going to do whatever the fuck they want anyway?
Well, tell me when they've followed the Constitution. They do everything
like 1786.
I'm saying, tell me when they follow the Constitution. When is it that they don't feel like they can just break the Constitution at any given?
Right. That's what I'm getting at. Like if they're both just fucking coming together and they're just saying, you know what, we're gonna do pretty much whatever the fuck we want, and because the vast majority of America doesn't even know what the fucking Constitution is anyway.
It doesn't even matter if they know what it is, because they've feminized the American public so horribly that none of them will actually stand up and do anything of it. Thomas Jefferson, I believe it was, said the life tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants. And it's a very interesting tell in that, because the first thing that has to happen is patriots have to be willing to give up their lives and give up their liberties in order to secure it for everybody else, because somebody's got to fight the tyrant, and that's not us anymore. We don't do that. We are somehow the most armed country in the world. We're armed better than most militaries as a population. And our population has got more weapons than most militaries in the world, and we won't fight.
So then if the goal is to reorganize the patriots of the country so that they rebel against the tyrannical in order to reboot the system, isn't that exactly what Donald Trump is trying to do?
Donald Trump is trying to, in my opinion, what has been happening for at least my lifetime is in order for like, look at this National Guard scenario. There's laws against this. There's the passe comitatus. There's laws against this. But if the public approves of it, just like Chris was saying with JFK, it's okay. That's fine. You can get away with breaking laws because the public's like, yeah, we're with you. So they needed this liberal left to get so crazed that the public was willing to accept the jackboot on their throat. And not only accept it, but cheer for it, ask for it. Hey, man, we don't want trannies in stripper outfits to be hanging their junk in front of our kids while they pretend like it's reading hour. We don't want all drugs to be available to everybody. We don't want all these things that are just wild that no rational person would think was okay. But the left side has pushed all of that nonsense. And it was specifically to get the reaction of it's okay for the federal government to come in and take over on us. It was specifically to get that reaction. And they tried to test the waters with the first Trump term. And they said, oh, no, it's not quite bad enough. So then they had to come in, double down on their nonsense. Look at the Harris and Biden administration. That shit was insane. No rationality to it whatsoever. That was specifically to get people like Andrew Wilson to come out and act as wild and heretical as what he is. Like, and it's to get that reaction, because now as a country we are literally debating it being okay for the United States military, not cops, military to police the citizens.
Yeah, well, I can agree with a lot of that because I know there's a very small part in the Constitution. I think it is. I don't have everything right in front of me at this moment, but it says that Congress can make no law against the will of the people. So they need to get the will of the people on their side in order to push anything they want to fucking do. That's essentially what you're saying, right?
No,
exactly what I'm saying.
The publicly, yeah, but legislatively, no. You want the public on your side optically, but there's no such thing as governing on behalf of the public.
Right.
If they can bypass
over and over
if they can bypass it optically, then they can kind of skirt around the legislation, can't they?
Well, they don't. Okay, so the legislation only goes one direction, and that's usually for the people that all of the Congress critters and the president owe favors to in order to get into those positions of perceived power in the first place. So their employees, Congress is the public relations firm for domestic and international oligarchs. They're rented mules. Sometimes it only costs a little bit of money to buy a congressman from any particular, lobbying group or special interest group. And sometimes it's in cases like Chuck Grassley from Iowa or Chuck Schumer from, New York, or Pelosi, any of these people, 35, 45-year investment in a congressman who goes from making 65, 75 grand when they first got elected to all of them are multi-hundred millionaires. You get rewarded with a congressional seat, the gift of insider trading. But I mean, but they're middle management at best, and they know that.
So then,
that's why the legislation always goes on behalf of the oligarchs and their affiliate lobby groups and interest groups that put these people into these positions in the first place.
And to back up what Steve's saying real quick before I toss it back to you, Toasty, is that if you can watch Rand Paul, who tried to make a one-page, one-bill movement and got tanked by everybody because he went out there and you know what I'm talking about then, where we went out with a phone, something that looked like the New York phone book and said, I got delivered this 4 hours ago. I have no idea what's in it. So, go ahead.
Sorry about that. You ready?
No. Yeah. Go ahead.
All right, cool. So then wouldn't the solve actually be to just open the market up to the fucking public and let the public buy their dudes?
The thing to do would be more, in my opinion, would be more like a lot of countries. Number one, they limit the political season to 4 to 6 weeks. Almost any other country in the world, their presidential election, you're only going to see anything about it for about 4 weeks. And then also it's paid for out of public coffers, which gives equal opportunity to whoever's doing it. So that doesn't give the opportunity to you buy off your candidates. So if we say, because the thing is, as a public, we're paying for it anyways at the end of the day. And if we went and said each candidate gets $200,000, serious candidate, you meet these qualifications, we come up with some fairly basic qualifications. You need to have this many registered voters expressing interest in seeing you. You need to, whatever it is. Then you get this amount of money. When you win, you don't. That's it's all equal money is the only way that's ever going to happen.
So you're basically suggesting a buy-in and then a rebate sort of system?
No, what he's saying is that instead of political action committees and candidates having to raise X amount of money before they're even considered worthy to being put on a ballot, there's an existing pool from whatever your community's taxes are, whatever form they can pull from that they're already gouging you on. And instead of privately invested public facing elections, you would have limited run, publicly funded from pre-existing tax money elections, and they would have, they'd be paired with about the same amount of reach. So the best, the person who resonates most at the most hyper local level, in theory, it would be the most likely to get that representative seat.
That sounds like a pretty interesting theory, honestly.
I mean, in a high trust society, you would have a way better chance of it. We don't currently live in a high trust society.
First thing we'd have to do is get rid of Citizens United. And in my opinion, every Supreme Court justice that voted for it should revisit the French Revolution right out on the front steps of the Capitol building, and for being traitors to the country and traitors to the people. And that's just how that is. And that abomination should immediately be disbanded. And in my opinion, if we really wanted to make a positive move for the country without completely restarting the system, doing away with corporations, period. Corporations are an abomination, in my opinion. And it's not hard to see a corporation. It becomes its own egregore. And as an egregore, it's got its own purpose, and it's the purpose that you've built into it. And the egregore of a corporation is to make money. And so now that we've taken a human out of it, a human wants to make good. A man wants to make good stuff and feel good and have a good reputation and things like that. And that egregore of corporation only wants dollars. That's the only thing that it cares about. So now we have a country where these corporations run everything. And we're not even really in an oligarchy. We're in a corporatocracy or something like that. And whatever fucking word.
Since 1872.
Yeah.
It's been a corporation.
Well,
yeah.
Clearly, I don't think we're going to get rid of corporations. That's never going to happen, and especially not their involvement in politics, because from the ground floor up, I mean, if you're a small businessman and you come up, and you're still going to be voting for the system anyway.
As a small businessman, 100% agree, and that's you personally. Now, why does a corporation get a say in things? A corporation isn't a person. I agree. The CEO of the corporation can be all about politics, all about telling everybody his candidate's the best candidate, his laws that he wants to enforce on other people are the best laws to enforce on other people, and the other team's horrible, whatever. But the corporation in and of itself, this entity that's only objective is to make money, that thing needs to not ever be able to vote. And I understand what you're saying, that would be very hard to get rid of as an American, but no, it wouldn't. No, it wouldn't. Guess what? We could do that shit overnight. That's what we call revolutions. And I rode on one of my big speaking events that I was appearing at. I got the privilege of riding next to a guy visiting from Poland, and he asked me, he said, you know why the United States has never had a revolution, outside of our original revolution? I said, why? And he said, because there's not a U.S. embassy there.
Wait, hold on. Say that again.
Because there's not a U.S. embassy there.
All right.
In other words, in the recent history, every large replacement, overturning of a government we've paid for and we've propagated. Whether it's the Iran-Contra affair, you name it. We are the ones that instigate it. We are the ones that pay the provocateurs. You look at like Libya recently, Syria, any of those countries. Gaddafi, that guy was loved by his country. Loved by that country.
Toasty, have you ever read Confessions of an Economic Hitman, John Perkins?
Is that a question for me?
Yeah,
yes. The rest of us have.
No, I've never read that.
I would highly recommend that book.
Have Balderson send me the title of it, and I'll check it out.
Yeah, John Perkins.
We can definitely do that. Like that's you've got to start out from basically that point of view that they will do whatever with whoever in order to get the thing that they want. And this is confessions of an economic hitman, meaning that they go in and destroy this country's economy in order to bring about civil unrest, and then they also then go behind and plant the insurgents that are going to be the leaders of the movement that becomes the revolution, and that we propagate every bit of it. And it's really easy to find that we're the heads of that. In fact, even in our government systems, if you listen to them, they will talk about alls we've had for 40 years is wars of regime changes. We, like the Shah of Iran, who we have so many problems with right now, we implemented the Shah. We implemented that dude into power. We gave him weapons in the Iran-Contra
overseas operation for the CIA was Project Ajax, Operation Ajax, the overthrow of the Iranian government.
In order to implement,
I've heard a little bit about that.
Yeah, and then not only did we implement the leader, we then armed them with all kinds of weapons in the Iran-Contra affair.
That would explain why I guess the left side doesn't want us to become isolationists, because if we do, then we stop doing all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
We basically stop controlling the world.
Exactly.
To our favor.
Well, I mean, there's no left or right on terms of that. There's a continuity in policy that sometimes it's focused in one particular area under one particular president. Sometimes it's a continuation of that. Like Clinton did pick up the ball and run with dropping more bombs in Iraq and stuff like that after George H.W. Bush. But he also pivoted. He also pivoted to former Soviet republics and getting involved in all kinds of what are essentially ongoing military covert operations from World War II throughout the 90s into present day. And it was Bush's war in Iraq. Clinton kept that going and then added the Baltic countries to it, Yugoslavia, that whole mess, Bosnia Herzegovina. He also launched what became the drone era of warfare, which George W. Bush picked up and ran with, going back to Iraq after getting involved in Afghanistan, and then doing a whole bunch of different destabilization campaigns in Central and South America, including trying to assassinate Hugo Chavez from Venezuela, who now the Trump administration wants to assassinate, has $100 million bounty on his head as a narco trafficker, the president of Venezuela, because he also tried to overthrow Venezuela in 2019. Wasn't successful at the time. We have ongoing, U.S. military has, under Trump, has ongoing operations still in Syria, still in Iraq, has been bombing Somalia on such a regular basis that he's setting and beating his own records in terms of how many times Trump's military has dropped bombs in Somalia. But this latest thing where now we're going to still be in Ukraine and arm Ukraine, still going to arm Israel and Gaza, still going to build up the Pacific Fleet and posture against China, while being engaged in what looks like is already a hot war against Venezuela, and declaring the exact same war in Colombia with a third Central and South America focused multi-global war on terror style operation, war on the cartels, as announced by Kristi Noem on behalf of Trump yesterday. It really does seem like it's more of a continuation of a constant policy of relocating a self-perpetuating money laundering machine, as opposed to a left-right issue.
See, well, I wasn't. I was kind of just using the left as a throwaway example so I could get out what I wanted to say. But yeah, uh, I definitely think that if you kind of follow World War II and then Vietnam and then all the politics that were going on there, um, yeah, I could definitely see how that could track. But at the same time, I think where we goofed a lot was we let too much we let politics assimilate military.
Oh, to the politics, brother. Politics is what they is the entertainment and consent wing of the military, and the fucking that are they're the consent wing then, and entertainment's the music and TV, and politics and the military. They're the same damn thing. It's the same damn thing, and including like you just bringing up Vietnam and things like that. So Vietnam started because of the Gulf of Tonkin incident, where supposedly the Vietnamese fired a torpedo at an American ship, and that whole incident never actually happened. There was no torpedo. The torpedo disappeared, but hey, we started a war. Well, who the admiral?
Yeah, I remember a little bit of that. Yeah.
Do you know who the admiral of that ship was?
I've heard the name, but I don't know like a whole bunch about him.
Admiral Morrison.
The Lizard King?
Do you know who Admiral Morrison's son was?
No.
Jim Morrison.
No way.
The Doors of
Perception. And you know
the
how many
guy?
times the Doors singer. You know how many times over and over you're gonna find that same feature that they control both the culture and the counterculture in order to fucking get what they want. Do you know the Grateful Dead was straight CIA agents and that the distribution of LSD was under CIA orders?
No, I never knew that.
You can find this super easy information to find. Super easy. Like it's not even, they don't even, because once 40 years go by, they quit hiding it. Because at 40 years, the people that are in charge are presumably 50, 60 years old. Well, now they're past their life expectancy. And so that's why it's always 40 years that all of a sudden release of this dirty shit the government happens. And they've released all of this.
That's crazy. I guess I got some new rabbit holes to jump down to tonight, huh?
Is it 65, 50, or 40? I've heard 3 different numbers the past few days from people saying how long they keep these files. And I was just curious. Is it 40 or 50 or 65?
It depends. It like some things that are marked like top secret or eyes only are 65 to 90, or indefinite. There's also an argument that they're just destroyed after a certain period of time.
Yeah.
And that everybody's involved is going to go. I don't know. I wasn't here. When they were converting everything over, it must have been back then. Blah,
burn
blah,
up in a fire or something.
That's a general line that you hear. There are records buildings that frequently go up in flames.
100%.
I think it would just depend on whoever's in the head of the department, right?
Well, that's as much a political appointment inside of those, bureaucracy.
That's what I'm getting at. Like whoever's actually running the bureaucracy behind the scenes or whatever.
And then technically they could re-up the years to add on another 50 years if they want to, right? Once those 50 years pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? We're gonna keep this around for like another 50 years or whatever.
Just not safe yet, guys. We're just
Are you guys seeing all the memes related to the Epstein file, the alleged Epstein files memes that people keep saying? I understand something is happening in Venezuela, but are the Epstein files there? Why are we going to Venezuela?
What interests me more right now, which I'm going to tie into all this because it seems like it's left field, but is the deals that we're doing with Argentina, where Trump specifically, so your largest landholders in the United States isn't actually crop farmers, because crops are not easy to plant and maintain and harvest. So your largest owners are your beef farmers and your beef ranchers. They especially in the South where it's not as lush and green and good farmland, you have to have fairly vast ranges in order to raise up cattle. And Trump just is working on signing in where he's going to start importing cheap beef from other places, something we don't allow right now.
No. It's a continuation of Trump 1.0 policies on this, the deals with JBS and stuff like that. Yeah.
What he's saying. And so what that's going to do is bankrupt. And in the cattle industry right now, I think I saw something like 700 cattle farmers, ranchers are losing their ranches on like a daily basis at this point. Well, Jim, well, if this goes through, this is going to bankrupt every small cattle rancher. And the thing that they aren't talking about, which is what is driving up expense, Billingtano. What's driving up expense is that it's not really the beef, it's the processing. So they've closed down most processing plants, and the regulations make it near impossible to open up a new one. And what's happened is now all, like where I live, Humboldt County, they had a processing plant, it's gone. Now the nearest processing plant's 4 hours away. And with the price of fuel, which is $5 a gallon still in California, like where I live, I just filled up 2 days ago, $5.23 at one pump, and I found one for $4.99. But
Same.
So we're talking in the fives. Well, that costs a fortune to try and move those animals, a fucking fortune. And so it's just putting these small guys under, and it's going to turn into just singular big ranchers. And all these landowners are going to be now city people with no land. It's all going to go to large corporate farming.
You know what that sounds like? You just told me. You know what that just sounds like? Carol Baskin been fucking slacking. That's what that sounds like.
Yes, she has.
Fucking Carol Baskin.
Baskin Robbins.
She the Tiger King went to fucking prison, and now she's slacking. She's taking it. Now she let her foot off the pedal.
Was she the one burning down processing plants? I know a bunch of them caught fire and burn up.
That was primarily birds. That was poultry plants that were burning up mostly, and a crazy amount of poultry plants burnt up in a very short time.
So the ethical treatment of beefcakes tonight, how's that going? Any Bitcoin daddies in chat?
Good
question.
Every time that Texas Slim from the Beef Initiative comes through, or somebody from a Beef Initiative connected rancher, it always does come down to lack of processing centers. Slim will talk all the time about how when he was growing up, and it was his grandparents' cattle ranch, there was a processing center per county in Texas. And it's gone from that to maybe there'll be 4 regionally on a coast or in any specific area of operation. And so we played a clip this morning on the show of a dude in Vermont, I think, New Hampshire, who's on a 2-year wait list to process, and that's just not tenable for anybody. But Trump can give $40 billion to Argentina and do a bunch of insane giveaway sweetheart deals to what are cartel connected ranchers in Argentina.
All while bankrupting the average American rancher.
And declaring war on cartels too.
Yeah. And claiming he's bringing jobs back to America.
Right.
But
I know the boomers
you
tanked it.
know how many jobs she just put out in America, man? Don't you know? I'm joking.
I live in farm country up here, and the boomers just tanked it totally.
I'll be honest. I haven't been up on recent politics, largely due to a lot of the shit that's been going on. So I'm a little fucking behind.
We've got a bunch of farms that were intergenerational farms for, in the same family for a long time, 100 years. And then the kids, the boomer generation, they all want to like move to the cities and drive a Prius.
Live the luxury life.
So they inherited this big ranch and they just split it up and sell it off.
Yep.
And then JR
Small town America is dead.
Well, and that's good. That's also they were all screwed with that. I don't remember what law it was that went through that made it so like they had to pay the taxes on the new evaluation of the property price after their parents had died and left it to them in the will. So now none of these kids out here are inheriting these farms can even cover the cost of what the hell they're being expected to pay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and there's a moratorium on building here, so you can't subdivide it and make a
yeah.
You all right there, bud?
Oh yeah.
I'm a little upset.
I'm getting righter and righter as we're sitting here.
Yeah,
There's a
no,
little-
it just
I want to
means
make
it's
sure you
working.
weren't dying.
There's a little insurrection project happening at the White House right now. They got backhoes tearing down walls, and they said they weren't going to do it. Now they're entering a new Gilded age where they're going to put up some checkered floored board, and they're going to have dances and prom kings in the White House. Is that what the No Kings movement is about? No prom kings? It's this level of high school social hierarchies where people aren't advancing past that. So what happens in
And
this
it's all being
situation?
led by people who never got asked to prom.
Yeah, that's the
Yes.
biggest problem. Or at
Exactly.
least they think they're leading it, which is the
Right.
biggest problem of all.
So if the protests and the most uppity people are kind of in the Portland area and they're doing some fighting on those blocks of neighborhood, what we get is like a fault tolerance check to see, well, how much tolerance will people have to say who's going to be put to fault, who's going to be to blame. And if there's more collapse, slow collapse, people then tolerate what they call shrinkflation in the grocery store. They tolerate that all their hot dogs are imported pig meat from other places shipped across the globe, and the who knows what it is. So we just, okay, well, a hot dog's still a hot dog. It used to be a $12 foot long for $5, a $5 foot long, but now a $5 won't even get you a tomato to put on your sandwich. So this sort of shrinkflation thing. But what ends up happening with this is the weak hands, they're out of the poker game. They're not at the table anymore. So when smaller family farms and the generational estates, the ranches, they no longer exist. Well, they don't have a seat at the table, so they don't have any bargaining anymore. When corporations come from outside the U.S. to invest in our land, so some of these farms are being listed for asking prices that people don't have. Families don't have money to buy a new farm, so it's going to be people who own casinos in Asian island countries, and they have all of their wealth saved up, and then they buy farmland in the middle of Minnesota. What are they going to do with it? Well, they might ship some of their aunts and uncles and cousins that they don't get along with to say, go plant some farms and plant some kohlrabi, some tubers, some vegetables, and go sell them at farmers markets. And there's some lakes in Minnesota, so you guys can get all the fish you want. It's going to be great. Go have fun over there. Now, what we're talking about is this idea of like nationalism versus the outside of the so-called illegal aliens. Well, now we got so many different people, and they're all separated from each other. And when these cities were these cosmopolitan places where you get different restaurants on the same street and you could eat at a different restaurant every night and it'd be great quality food, now those people are taking up the recipes and they're going and they're saying, well, you know what, it's too violent in the city. So they go and find these family farms out of the city area, and then they just kind of build their new homes, but they're not interacting with the outside world so much. So we had all this mixing and all this celebration of diversity, equity, inclusion. Well, that got pushed so far, what they call the woke mind virus and all this stuff that Elon's tweeting about and getting upset about. That went as far as it could go. We could probably still push it a little bit further, but now there's a pushback immediately, and people are like, well, I see this for what it is, and they push back immediately, and the pendulum swings back. So now we're at the point where people are crying for Christian nationalism. They're crying for God Emperor Trump to take the religious aspect of the divine right of kings to then go with the private sector of the government and the jurisdiction to combine it all under one head. So people are arguing and fighting against this ICE invasion, these ICE people picking people off the streets, the so-called illegal aliens, or the H-1B ones, the other workers. But this No Kings movement is really a farce to say. With what does the word mean? No kings? No, one king. And what is the king going to be? Well, an AI computer, essentially, because humans are not great at making decisions. But now that we have all of the data gathered, we know the best way to distribute food. And in the cities, maybe the cities get the food eventually, but now if the government shut down, and yesterday, was it 2 days ago, Amazon Web Services went down, and you try to log into essential infrastructure that you work online, you work from home, and you can't work from home. Well, Amazon went down, the DNS servers went down, the internet didn't work. The government shuts down, people don't get their SNAP benefits, they can't go to Walmart and get their chicken. What are they going to do? So if they don't get food to the cities, people leave the cities, and then they spread out to small towns, and they bring the violence with them, right? People have their safe small town environment, white picket fence, and the violence leaves the cities. So we're always in flux. But we continue to argue that with the Patriot Act and all the government having their eye on the goal, and they keep approaching, it doesn't matter left, right, red, purple, yellow, whatever the color of the party is, the agenda keeps pushing forward towards the technocratic, oligarchic, overreach state.
You guys hear my cat growling?
It's a hungry cat. Got to snack.
No, she pissed off because the other cats are looking at her. There she goes. Oh, not there. She's hissing for you. She's angry. She hates everybody.
Territory wars. We're back to the Stone Ages. Have you guys seen Grimes' new music video, by the way?
Me too, Colin.
No, I would like to.
Okay.
See who's new?
Grimes.
Oh, Darren Grimes?
Claire.
Who the hell's Claire Grimes?
She was married to Elon Musk and had some children with Elon.
Still don't know. I still don't know who that is.
I know Silas did a breakdown of her emoji prophecy that she put out prior to COVID that seemed to predict COVID within it.
Well, what we're talking about is culture, pop stars. I keep mentioning Cardi B. Well, we're a bunch of white guys. Why do I mention Cardi B? Maybe is Cardi B important to another community?
You like that wet ass pussy? Did I got the right chick, right?
Doja Cat.
Good.
Doja Cat. Bad Bunny.
Doja Cat's the one that sings that fuck.
Yeah, just I got to step away, so I'm gonna mute my mic.
It's Cardi B, wet ass pussy. Whap. Whap, 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 whap. Getting smacked around.
What'd you say, Toasty? What'd you say, Toasty?
Toasty on the mute. Probably be
I said I needed to step away from them for a second, so I'm gonna mute my mic. So
all right, good.
Toasty, enjoy that Grimes music video. I know you're gonna love it.
Fucking with me.
Toasty's at the club.
It's this this so-called cultural degeneration. At some point, when are we gonna reclaim Kenny Loggins? Resacralize Kenny Loggins tonight, wherever you are. Just take it back.
Log back on.
Log back on and off.
You don't need to do that. You really don't. With anyone that you would consider yacht rock or film rock, you don't have to resacralize any of that. You don't. It's okay. It's okay.
My wife could lead this movement. She's from where Kenny Loggins is from.
Was he even a Paul Bunyan figure, this Kenny Loggins guy? Loggins, really?
No, he didn't do no logging.
Never operated a chainsaw in his life, I bet.
Yeah, probably.
It's just bad, Marcus. That was just bad. You get the car crash for that.
Need a sound effects bank.
I don't know. Does the sound effects come on the board you told me to get, Marcus?
You can have an input from your computer so we can play sounds and it'll mix into your audio. So if you want to play a bird chirp or Or what's the sound of a fire alarm without a battery in it?
Oh fuck, that was hilarious on that panel the other night. And then when they asked that dude if he was there, and then he hits it again, that shit was hilarious.
Sure.
There's a guy named Trippy Cast, and that goes on the panels, and he has a sound recording of a fire alarm with a low battery, and he'll just sit there on panels, and all of a sudden he'll start beeping it like every 5 seconds, and all of a sudden you'll see people like, fucking trying to figure out where their fire alarm's off and shit. And you see people in the chat talking about it. Like, I just checked mine. It's so fucking funny.
You ever seen the Annoyatron? I ordered some Annoyatrons. It was like 3 for $5 from Amazon. There's this little thing about the size of a little watch battery, a little chip, and you can stash it somewhere, and it makes that beep. Like every 5 minutes, it goes beep. Like stashing your friends.
Like a Casio watch or something that would have an alarm going off or something.
But it drives you nuts. I stashed some outside my shop because we have the homeless camp down the road, and keep it from lingering there for too long.
Thought you were supposed to play classical music for them.
I could do that too. I like the beat better.
Oh, fuck. Last night, Powder Dusty did a panel about all that shit with Sarah and them, and he's like, "What your problem is, Andrew, is that you picked a fight with the homeless camp of the fucking
yeah. I got that
panel world." He's like, "You got something to lose. This homeless camp's got all day to fuck with you and nothing better to do." Like, fucking that made me laugh so damn hard. Oh shit. Like, don't pick a fight with the homeless camp next door. That's just stupid.
Right.
No, Dusty's got a pretty good way of putting things into perspective, honestly.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Yeah, he is. I like him.
Skunk water.
I mean, he's got to take that booty shake video down. That's just bad. You can't have a white man butt and fucking do booty shake videos. That's weird. Got to undo that. Super gay. But I mean, he does like Fred Durst, so that's also super gay. So I'm kind of checks out.
Let's leave Fred Durst alone in his time.
I will not leave Fred Durst alone.
Fred Durst knows what he did.
There was a death in the band. There was a death in the band recently.
I just can I take a couple minutes for you guys just real quick? I just want to remind all your guys' audiences to hit and like and subscribe to all of your channels and send your shit all over the fucking internet.
We appreciate you doing that, Toasty. We are the worst self-promoters as a group. That's the thing that brought us together as a common bond. Is our absolute.
When you get engaged in a fucking conversation, you kind of forget that you guys got viewers and stuff there. So I try to just kind of help move that along a little bit, especially since we're hitting the 2-hour mark.
Dude,
I forget about it.
I've done giant interviews like on Crow's like shows like Crow 777, and then afterwards I look in the chat and they're like, "Who is this guy? He never says his name." Oh shit. Self-promotion, we're bad at it. Real bad.
I'm pretty good at alanmarcus.com.
Yes, Marcus is good at Alan Marcus.
Don't forget to drop your Discord links, guys.
Oh, we don't do Discord. No. No Discord here. Nothing but sweet harmonies. We're basically a barbershop quartet.
We already told you that Marcus is a pure boy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Don't be trying to drag him into your dirty world. You're going to devalue him.
No dice games for me in the alleyway.
Steve and I have already devalued ourselves. Jim is also pure, but he's got a wife, and she will stab you in the face.
Does she got a record number? I want to break it.
What's the record?
Getting stabbed in the face.
Every girl that pisses her off.
Isn't it like a stick and poke tattoo? put a little teardrop under your eye and tattoo it in there, so you know you're a hard boy. What is that? Does that mean something in prison if you get tattoos as teardrops?
Yeah, each teardrop is supposed to be somebody that you have unalived.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I was
Only if
actually
they're
watching a
filled in,
police
though,
documentary on that a while back, and apparently it actually means that you got fucked in the butt. And
No,
that was
what
just a
that
cover
was-
story.
that's
They told their
teardrop.
wives and shit.
That's
So what that
teardrops
was
from
in
the
prison,
that's teardrops
actually-
from the brown eye. That's not
Yeah, it's
teardrops
teardrops
from
the
the
brown eye. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, what that actually
different
was
location tattoo.
in prison, if you sagged your drawers like that, that meant that you took it in the butt and that you were open invitation. So all these kids that run around with their drawers sagging out, that's what that was.
The G in G spot stands for gangsta. Don't you forget it.
Yeah, and believe me, like the one thing that is not real about prison, because I did 8 years in prison, the thing that's not real is the grape stories. There's really no grape in there. There is so many queens that will take in the butt that I don't think that is even a thing that would ever have to happen. Like there's 12 people waiting in line to touch your junk in there. Like it is super gay.
That's why they want to get all the transsexuals, you know, co-ed and everything.
Dude, so it doesn't really reverse like that. I've never seen a girl. When I was in there was like 6 dudes that had partially went through the transition, and so they had boobs and no balls, but they didn't have the outie turned into the innie yet. But those dudes, they were still in the men's prison, and they got their own shower with a shower curtain because you wouldn't want other dudes seeing their boobs. Although there's definitely dudes like Rob Noor who have boobs in there already, you know. But they give that. But I've never seen somebody that was previously a woman in the men's prison. But there are a ton of dudes, they call them the queens, that they pay for makeup, the whole nine, and they are ready. One day there was one of them, and somebody was giving, and I was sitting there playing double pinochle, and somebody was giving the dude shit about, you know, what he was going to do, and the dude's like, I'm going skiing. Like, you know, like, because he said something about taking 2, and he's like, 2? Shit, I'm going skiing. Like, fuck. So bad.
I had a friend who his brother went to the penitentiary for I guess he was a pedophile, and he got out and he had 1 glass eye, and word on the street was he got skull fucked.
Yeah, that's absolutely made up. Here's the reality of it, and it's a sad reality. Absolutely, those guys would get beat up. So in prison, they have separate areas. They need to have that, obviously. So the PDF files, that's what you got to say. You can't say what you said. The PDF files, they get their own separate area in the prison, so that way they don't go through that. And not only that, but they have now made it a hate crime if you go and beat them up. So you were hating them for being a PDF file, and now it's a hate crime to beat them up. So
basically, they just get away with it, pretty much.
Yeah. They get lighter sentences than most. They get lighter sentences than most of the rest of us, and then also they because they aren't a threatening lot of dudes. Like when I was in the one prison, get these shitheads out of here. Get. Where I was, the guards, like when they would go to lunch, if we were out in that area, the guards would make a line between us and them, and they would come by, and they all look like basement dwelling incels that are greasy and shit. You're like, wow. And we used to stand out there and you'd yell things at them because you can do that. We'd be like, we'd be like, 1 PDF file, ha ha ha, 2 PDF files, ha ha ha. Doing shit like that. But to touch them is actually a worse crime than if I just beat up another dude for disliking him, because now it's a hate crime because he's a PDF file. So there's a protection on them that other people don't even have.
That's insane.
Insane.
That's insane. That is batshit fucking crazy.
Yeah, that's the realities of prison. I went
So
for
like, so then we're like bitching about this fucking Epstein file for no fucking reason.
Yeah,
There is no like file as far as that goes. Like there's audio recordings and video recordings, and
Right.
you could eventually have somebody transcribe that and like put it in sort of a file form. But the black book was, or flight logs and all that shit, has been in the public sphere for 10 years. There have been multiple books and multiple articles written about like all the closest thing you get to an Epstein list is the second volume of One Nation Under Blackmail by Whitney Webb.
We all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is where I kind of contended a little bit, because like if it's true that Trump was working with the FBI on the whole thing, to get them all the evidence that they needed to finally go against that fucking dude, then yeah, we would reasonably expect his name to show up like a fucking bunch, wouldn't we?
Pam Bondi, just quickly, Pam Bondi was the attorney general in Florida when Epstein got his first sweetheart deal. And now she's the attorney general of the country when the files get their sweetheart deal. Ghislaine Maxwell received a relocation to a very, very, very low security prison, and will probably be on a pardon list if she's not pardoned before Trump goes out. He's also talking about, rumored to be thinking about pardoning Diddy.
Nah, Diddy gonna realize he can't commit no crimes in prison. It's free game in there. He's gonna want to stay.
He's appealing the sentence, he is.
Dude,
maybe
straight up, the Queens
it's
turn
more
down
difficult.
parole all the time. The Queens always turning down parole. They're like, leave. This is a dick salad in here, and I get freaking more commissary than anybody else.
Right.
He's gonna be like, lawyer, can I get 20, please?
Right.
You guys
I
ever go
gotta have a job.
Can I buy me more prison time?
I never want.
Do you guys ever get on that Tubi website, TUBI?
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure.
There's some
There's a
good
whole
stuff
new
on
reality show.
They'll just
Prison
suck
Freak
you
Off.
in, man. I don't recommend it. They'll suck you in. You'll think you'll have like, oh look at this! I got $1,000 worth of stuff for $100, and then it'll
something
be
called the CIA Drugs, the letter R, Us. John Potash put out some books. Not a lot of people reading books, but if you put your documentaries on Tubi and make them available to everybody, now you can really learn about Tupac Shakur.
Oh wait, you're saying Tubi? I thought you were saying Temu.
Tubi.
I thought you were saying Temu. I thought you were saying that ghetto Amazon
No, this is the ghetto Amazon
video.
Prime.
Yeah. Okay, I got you.
The John Potash stuff, immediately watch and then watch it again and share it with people.
Yeah, it's good.
I don't disagree, Misfit. I might, in the feds, it might be a different situation, but I also don't think in the feds they see that many people, because sex crimes aren't usually, while they might be a federal offense, most things the feds allow the states to handle it. So like, and this is, again, I've been through court. I understand how this works. Like if what your crime is something the feds can pick up, you're usually a little bit nervous, but not overly nervous, because federal prison is usually way better than state. Way better. But after Joe Biden and them put in the mandatory minimums, you're usually, if the feds do pick it up, probably going to get more time than you would have at state. But it's going to be way easier time to get. But for as far as crimes of a sex nature, those are typically going to be prosecuted at a state level. And if they're prosecuted at a state level, unless you're like national news level criminal, the feds aren't going to fuck with it. They're going to be like, cool, let the states handle it. The dude's going to prison, good enough. Yeah, I can believe that too. And by low yards, he means like the minimum security. And that now that is one thing that was nice in the state that I was in. I did my time in South Dakota for cannabis back in the day, which I have grand mal seizures and use medically, and so now I can carry 10 pounds on me legally. And I did 8 years in prison for a quarter pound. So weird life, right? The fuck were we just talking about? Besides, you
were the one running your yap for 20 minutes, man. You can't tell
your
us
yap now. I've ran out of talk. I blanked. I ran out.
You know, it is Back to the Future Day today, by the way, October 21st.
Chris ran out of gas too.
You were talking about prison time and weed and
fed and state time. But yeah, if the feds pick it up, the state won't. Or if the state picks it up, the feds won't. Like unless it's like there's trigger numbers, like in California, all the licenses that they gave away back in the medical days, it was up to 99 plants. Why is it 99 plants? Because at 100 plants, the federal government now will kick in and they're like, well, now we'll come bust you. Where at 99 plants, the federal government won't come bust you. So there's certain levels, and again, unless you're a nationwide known criminal, the feds are going to leave it alone if the state picks it up.
Similarly to like how alcohol stores can only sell so many bottles of alcohol at once, right?
To an individual customer, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. And I do that quarter pound I got busted for and back in South Dakota. That was my personal stash. I got paid every 2 weeks, and that was my personal stash. I just went and got everybody knows you can buy in bulk. You get it a little cheaper. It wasn't, and they're like in South Dakota at the time, the way they do it, and a lot of people don't know this about the criminal system either. They will charge you multiple times with the same charge, and they'll just word it slightly different, and that way they can ensure that you're gonna take a plea deal because they're like, oh, we're gonna put 100 years worth of charges on you over this simple little thing, and you're so scared that you're gonna take this 5 years that we throw at you like it's a gift.
Yeah. That's what they call like padded charges, ain't it?
Yeah, and they do it like you wouldn't believe. Like all they did was catch me with a quarter pound of personal weed, and they had something like 50 years worth of charges stacked up against me for it. Because they're like, they hit you with possession of it, intent to distribute, to conspiracy to distribute, blah, blah, blah. They just keep stacking on the same exact thing. And you're like, and you know, and I'm like, distribution, this was consumption. I've smoked this shit. Hey,
don't you know, man? I'm fucking Snoop Dogg over here. The fuck?
Oh, dude, 2 ounces a week was nothing. That was back before my seizures got worse as I got older. Like Jim said, that's like I could pretty much put down that much. I do dabs now, but you bet I can sit down and smoke enough dabs to put down a whole army of dudes.
I'll be honest. I don't get the attraction to dabs. Like every time I'm around people who are like doing them and whatnot, and I'm dumb. It's like that doesn't sound fun. Y'all sound like fucking dying.
Oh yeah, you cough
like,
hard.
What the fuck?
But I tell you what, the effect of that. Oh my goodness. It's so much better than cannabis.
Yeah, there was this one guy I was hanging out with, and he was doing dabs, and he just kind of goes into that fucking mode. Have you ever seen that meme with that kid who's like fucking looking all constrained, and he's got his fucking veins all popping all over the fucking place.
Yeah. The one that's like leaning forward and all the
Yeah.
veins are on.
He was like that, and I was like, dude, are you fucking all right?
It's not supposed to
I
work.
was like, are you about to shit yourself? What's up, bro? What do I need to do?
What happens is the dabs expand when they hit your lungs and they push all the air out, and you're fighting to get air back in your lungs. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I just don't see the attraction of that. I'm like,
well, the attraction
I don't
is
know.
When I used cannabis, I had to smoke at the end of my cannabis use just for my medical to stop seizures. I was smoking about an ounce a day. And I would sound like Darth Vader at night. Like it was like I sounded like Rob Nor breathing. It was bad. And, yeah,
it's a full-time job.
And, then when I switched to dabs, because dabs doesn't have smoke in it. Like with the smoke, that's carbon burning off. The dabs don't have that in there. So it's a much cleaner, and because it's so concentrated. When you're smoking cannabis, I was smoking a little over a joint an hour when I was using cannabis, and my joints were about a gram. And so with dabs, I can take 2 dabs and be good for like 8 hours and not be seizure-y. I can take dabs at home, go to town, do my grocery shopping, do my running around, and come home and not have to do that again until I come home. If I was using cannabis, I would have to stop halfway to town, damn near, and smoke a spliff. Stop halfway to while I was in town. At some point, I would have to go out and find some place to smoke a spliff. When I say go to town, it takes me 2 hours to get to the grocery store. So we aren't talking like 15 minutes or something. I'm not crazy like that, but 2 hours. My seizure threshold is now starting to lower, and I'm starting to get shaky and things like that.
Well, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm just kind of an old school guy about it. I'm just like, you need to get that shit off the plant, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I understand where you're coming from, but I also, as a medical user, I understand the benefits of using the extracted form. And unless you are somebody that needs that level, I don't think dabs are for everybody anyways. I honestly think they're too strong for 99% of people. It's too much. But
yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, I did some dabs once, and like I went to fucking bed, and I swear to God, I almost died.
Yeah, you're not the only one who thinks that.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you know what? I'm never gonna fuck with that again. I'm just gonna stay old school about it.
Yeah, and when you died before you die, were you initiated into some sort of secret tradition mystery thing? Did you see any Kabbalistic figures floating around?
Dude,
I mean, was it mystical?
This one dude that I gave a dab to, big guy too, like 250, 300 pounds, somewhere in there, like 6'1". Freaking, he took a dab. He sat down, he looked over at me and Josh, and he goes, take me outside. And we had to pick him up under the arms and carry him outside. And outside, he said he saw Odin through a shimmery silver mirror, like it was liquid. And Odin was on the other side, and he had to reach through it to go try and get to Odin and have an experience with Odin. And then he did. And he did that. He literally made us lay him down. We got outside the door. He goes, right here. And we laid him down on the ground right there at our front step. And that's where that dude woke up the next morning. But he said he met Odin, and he had to go through a bright, silvery, shimmery mirror to go meet him.
Ben's dabs will do that to you.
Yeah. Yeah. 3 out of the 6 people on the panel have had similar experiences.
Oh my gosh. I couldn't find the bathroom, and it was like 25 feet away. I got lost.
Yeah, I just went to bed, and then the next thing I know, I was like I woke up, I couldn't breathe, I couldn't do nothing. I was like, is this a fucking end for me here? And then finally I started getting some wind back, and I was like, yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna fuck with that shit again. And you got to be so careful with it. Like, you can real easily overshoot your draw and everything, you know?
Oh, you definitely are going to overshoot if you've never done it. Jim?
Yeah. I mean, it was like the first time I had done it, and I let my friend talk me into it. And I was like, nah, I'm good on that. I'd rather take a blunt or something like that. You know, I know what's in that.
Jim we were partying right across from the bathroom at this campground, and Jim couldn't find the bathroom, and it was literally, you turn around, you're like, it's right there, dude. And Jim couldn't find the fucking thing, and even though people were telling Jim it's right there, after Jim gets out of the bathroom, Jim's wife Rachel comes walking over to us, and she's like, Jim's gonna take a nap for a while now. We're like, yeah, he is.
It's a long journey to get there, and rest was what was needed. Yeah.
Fucking Steve, the last time Steve came to my house, Steve takes one dab, sits down in the chair, just passes right the fuck out. Like, He fucking 2 hours later, he lifts his head up. He goes, oh shit, did I pass out? We're like, yeah, you did. He walks over, takes a dab, sits back in the same exact chair and same position, and passes right the fuck out again.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
You guys ever partied so hard with somebody that they woke up with their pants on backwards?
No.
Like they have their arms through their legs, like they're wearing it like a shirt? What do you mean backwards?
Oh, shit. Well, all right. I'll tell you guys the story. It's not that big of a story, but me and my friend, we went to go fucking crash with this guy who lived outside of town, and he's like an Indian guy, you know. He's got like fucking peyote and all that fucking shit. I mean, like top shelf hard shit. So we went out there and we partied and we fucking moved it to another location, and he didn't watch his drinking, and to be fair, I failed him. I didn't watch his drinking. And he got so fucking ass backwards that he went to the bathroom, climbed in the bathtub, put his pants on fucking backwards, and then crashed. I walked into there. I woke up, went looking for him. I fucking opened the door, and there he is, just passed out in the bathtub, and his fucking pants are on backwards. And I'm like, bro. So I start fucking with him, right? And he wakes up, and I was like, dude, when the fuck did you put your pants on backwards, and why? He's like, I don't really know. It must have been at some point. And I was like, you got a drinking problem.
You got issues, bro. Oh, shit.
Oh, he was a real crazy guy. He fucking, we would find him in all kinds of weird fucking places. Like there was another time we had a big old fucking party, and somehow he got up on the fucking roof and he passed out there. I mean, he was a crazy, crazy guy.
Dude, the craziest shit I ever seen in prison, this guy was cheeking his meds, and fucking, he was on psych meds, and he cheeked them for like a whole month and saved them and never got caught with them. And then in one day, he took all of his psych meds after not taking them for a month, and he got bucked. He crawled on top of the prison and found a way to get on top of the prison. And these buildings are like 3 stories, and he got buck ass naked and then tried to jump from the building to the outside of the prison over the concertina wire fucking fence. There's a fence, and then which is topped with concertina wire. Then there's layers of concertina wire in between, and then a fence topped with concertina wire. He jumps off the building, makes it past the first fence, makes it past the open area, hits the second fence, gets caught in the concertina wire. It stretches like this on the outside, where like he's literally like looking at freedom right there. And then it takes and it stretches, and then it snaps back and whips him in and smashes him buck naked into the concertina wire in between the fences. Fucking horrifying. Yeah, it sounds pretty fucking funny.
Did you hear him? Was he crying?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, he was screaming. Yeah. And we all asked. The big question always was, why did you get naked before you did that?
What'd he say?
I mean, what other question could you ask him?
Yeah, and he
Felt
would
lighter
just
that
go.
way?
He says, I don't know. I guess I thought that's the way God brought me in, so that's the way I was going to go out. I figured I'm either going to die or I'm free, one or the other.
I was gonna make it awkward for him either way.
Yeah.
It's so
Super
funny how
weird
many
dude,
stories
obviously.
when people get really fucked up, they get naked. I always thought that was kind of weird, except for PCP. Like those guys always get naked when they're
Dude, I can't handle clothes when I'm in when I take mushrooms.
Oh,
if
yeah.
I take, I mean, microdosing's fine, but if I plan on, like every couple of years, I'll do a epic dose. And if I take the epic dose, anything man-made, I really don't like. Like you're like, I'm at a party and we all decide we're gonna, we like the one year it was at the Harvest Moon, and we had an awesome summer. This was like our end of year celebration basically, and we all took a epic dose, and then as soon as we start partying, I disappear. And fucking and my friend Richie kept coming and finding me, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine, except for you keep bothering me. What the fuck is your deal?" Like, I will literally basically get naked and go walk off into the woods and hang out in the woods. It's what I do when I'm in that state, and I'm having a great time. Like, and I can hear you guys partying over here and laughing and all that, and I'm enjoying listening to you guys do that, but I want to be over here in the woods by myself.
I want to be talking in the trees, bro, having my Joe Rogan moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it about your clothes that tweaks you?
Oh, dude, they feel horrible.
Like,
And if I get
scratchy, do they burn or what?
Yeah, they feel unnatural and uncomfortable and just not likable at all. And then another interesting thing, if I take enough, the world will take on like this shimmeriness, and it looks like maybe like snake scales or something. And anything that's natural, it has like this movement to it, like this very slow, shimmery movement to it. And then all of a sudden you come up to something that's man-made, like a piece of plastic or something, and it looks weird and dead. And you're like, ugh, yuck.
Like you just can't see the life in it?
Yeah, there's no life in it. It's just
no natural vibrations.
It lays there dead. It doesn't have that shimmeriness to it, that movement to it.
Yeah. I've heard similar stories, but like I've never heard of anybody ditching their clothes when they're on mushrooms. That was a little bit new.
I do live, again, 2 hours from a grocery store. Like, if you ever come out to my house, and Steve will absolutely vouch for this, at any given time, you and I could be talking like we are now, and now all of a sudden I'm peeing. And I won't even stop talking to you. Like, I just whipped my dick out and started peeing. And I expect you not to look at my dick. Keep in the eyes, buddy, in the eyes. And then, because we're on a farm out in the middle of nowhere, who gives a shit? Like,
that's pretty normal for living out there on the farm. You're just gonna go take a piss
on a cool summer night instead of being in the hot house. We get to go out and sleep naked on the roof, and there isn't a single neighbor in eyesight of my house.
Right. Yeah, I get that. That's the way a lot of small town places are. Like where I live, a lot of the people just like to just go out to their fucking yard and just take a piss.
You damn straight. Pissing inside kills your soul if you're a man.
Right?
I'll take that, bitches. I can be standing up and outside.
There's a clip I saw.
Write my name in the snow.
There's a marathon, I think, in Chicago. They have these big. We're gonna run through the streets of Chicago. They call it a marathon. And
did you send me this clip? Is that where I saw it?
Yeah. So if it's a big city like Chicago, and people from outside the Chicago area, they get into the city and they all got to find where the start of the race is. So they're all very overdressed. So they wear a lot of just things that they're going to never see again. They're just going to lose their clothes, throw it off, and then start the race. The issue is when there's 50,000 people running a race to Chicago and there's maybe 1 or 2 bathrooms, you see the situation here. So there's a video of a woman who's just kind of squatting, pulling fabric to the side, letting it out, and then gets back into the race. Now they had this fence where people were throwing over like joggers, short shirts, sweatpants, and things, and all of that was covered in human urine. These were not homeless people; these were marathoners.
Steve, reset your chat.
Oh, okay.
So did they wear shoes? Were they naked with shoes or no shoes?
The marathoners?
Yeah, the marathoners.
Well, so when you're running, you get the runner's high, and they were connecting that with like endorphins. They were saying it produces all the chemicals, so you feel like you're high because maybe you produce your own DMT or whatever. But that's not where I'm getting to the conversation. I'm getting to the human traffic clash, where it's like you got 50,000 humans all trying to run a race through a city. It's an urban jungle. They're not like looking for storm drains to go in. They're just like, I'm in a race, I gotta go, and they overdress for it. So by the time they're running the race, they're all wearing like bikini bottoms and like sports bras, and they're running because they don't want to have all the extra weight on them because they're sweating so much. The issue was with the city having to plan to follow behind them, pick up all of the urine-soaked clothes, and then just dump it. It's just weight. It's just part of the process of having a 50,000 plus person marathon, where they just say, well, this is just what happens. We have to pick up after these people.
They spend like 3 hours at the bar before the race, you think? Everybody got wasted and then took off?
I think they're just drinking Pedialyte. They're just trying to stay hydrated throughout the race because they know.
I think these people obviously know nothing about a cult. You're leaving body fluids and shit around for other people to grab? What's wrong with you?
Another reason why I don't live in the city.
Well, imagine you gotta walk in your house and tell that to your wife. Hey, babe, guess what? I gotta go pick up some fucking piss stained underwear all day today.
Yeah, that's
like imagine what you smell like when you get home.
Hopefully, there wasn't a sale on asparagus before that.
Vegetables in the middle of Chicago? You're kidding me? All they have is hot dogs. Chinese.
Chicago, they're like, oh, this is perfectly normal. It happens every other week. You look. There goes Zed down the street. There he goes again, just pissing on the street.
And at that point, no one's arrested for public urination. It's like, these are rich white ladies running through the street. They're fine. Let them have it.
That happens in San Francisco every day, but they don't cry about it or put it on the news.
Dude, they got a whole ass fucking app. What you talking about?
Yeah, they got a whole app, the Poop Finder app, to tell you that make sure you can try and go to the less poopy places for the day.
Hey, you know what? That's not a bad idea if you're a human DNA collector.
That's what I'm saying.
Are they putting in larger bathrooms in the White House? Is Trump going to get a big jacuzzi?
Dude, and then the thing is they talk about these people like they're savages. But you go to downtown San Francisco, one of the things they don't tell you is that the sewage system of San Francisco is fucked. Like, it is backed up, overrunning. So as you're walking through the city,
wasn't that like a plot point in Lords of Dogtown or whatever? But the water was all fucked and everything, and the sewage system was all fucked because of the industrial
system,
runoff.
Like, they can't fix it because San Francisco shouldn't have ever been a city. It was ground that wasn't ground good enough to do anything on. So what they literally did is they started bringing in manure and pounding manure into the ground to try and stabilize it. And when they ran out of manure, they just started putting trash in the ground to try and stabilize it. And so this place is like just a shit island. And it should not have ever had the systems that it has in it. So there's no way to fix it. And as you're walking through the city, as you get to the cross streets, it smells like raw sewage. But then when you get to the alleys in between the streets, it smells like fresh poop and pee because somebody literally peed or pooped right there. Well, there's no bathrooms to use in San Francisco. Well, you go down there and you go wine and dine, and then you go out and you've got to now pee or poop.
Yeah.
Well, where do you go? You got to go somewhere. And these businesses, most of them won't even, they'll say theirs is out of order and shit like that because they have a problem with homeless people going into the bathrooms and shooting up heroin or whatever, or fentanyl or whatever, and passing out in the bathroom and ODing in their bathrooms. So they all just pretend like they don't have a bathroom. So now there's nowhere to go to the bathroom and you've been hanging out down there eating and drinking for a few hours. Well, guess what? You're still a human. You got to poop or pee somewhere. And it takes you 3 hours to drive out of that city. It's crazy how bad traffic is in that city. You're going to do it.
Crazy.
So they're all wearing diapers.
Why aren't people bitching about that? Like, for real?
Well, because they put one part of it on the news without giving you the whole story. The problem with our country is Paul Harvey died.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah,
See the host of Family
give you
Feud?
the rest of the story.
Are you talking to the host of Family Feud, Harvey?
No, I'm not talking about the host of Family Feud, Marcus.
Paul Harvey was that radio host.
Yeah, he was the farm radio host, and he told you the rest of the story.
He was basically the fucking first podcaster. You want to get real technical about it.
Dude, he was the best. You know what? Toasty's already said enough TOS words. Steve, is it time to play God Made a Farmer?
No. I mean, if you they're gonna.
We got to memorize it so we can just start reciting
it. It won't be a TOS thing. It'll be a copyright thing. But
yeah, copyright strikes are handled.
You know all about it, Steve. You get us one every episode.
It's been several episodes where I haven't done that.
That's true. And Steve kicked such ass at that debate with Rob Knorr. Dude, Steve's answer when they did the Ben Carson thing made me laugh. I didn't laugh, but inside I was dying. Steve's like,
oh, yeah, sometimes you guys say some real wild ass shit.
Oh, fuck. Because I can't laugh while Steve's doing it, or I try not to. And Steve's killing me over here. Fucking, I'm just dying. Like, Steve's like, oh, so you could just interchange any black man? That's what we're talking about? We're just interchangeable black men now? That's what your story is? Is what kind of question is this? Fucking, I'm just dying. Dying.
Any black man can host Family Feud. We get that Cal from Keenan. Was his name Keenan on SNL?
Steve's like, what is the point you're making with your that black men are just interchangeable? Fucking, oh, fuck. I'm just fucking dying. Oh, fuck. Rob didn't know what to fucking do with that in any way, shape, or form. He just sputtering. That's part of why the dude ended up getting more and more pissed off and actually coming off wild and angry because he was getting nowhere with anything.
Yeah, he gets that. Have you ever noticed he gets that real fucking deadpan stare whenever he gets cornered? He just like he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Dude, in the debate, I was making fun of him, but I was trying to be fun about it, which is the best way for sure. There's no reason to be assholes. And, be fun about it. That's the most entertaining. It's the best time for everybody. And so I told him, I said something about not being able to speak that fast. And he's like, oh, yeah, my brain works fast. And I was like, yeah, my tongue doesn't move that fast. And I was like, you got a happy wife. We get it. And dude sat there dumbfounded. And Sarah was dying laughing. And he just sat there like, I don't get it. And then he goes, my wife doesn't watch my show. Like, oh, Jesus. Oh, mouth move fast, brain not so much.
You got to make a stream that your wife will be proud of you for. You got to let your wife and daughters watch your stream, right?
My wife's always sitting right here. She doesn't ever want to be on camera, but she's 90% of the show sitting 5 feet from me.
Well, I'd like to say hello. Hope you're doing well.
I am. Thank you. I hope you're doing well too.
I am. Thank you. I'm having a real good time up here with you guys.
We're having a good time also. Chris Miner needs to put into this more. Chris is also an awesome dude.
I know I was bouncing all around for a little while, but I'm back in that combo now, so I'll start throwing in zingers every once in a while once I catch up more into what you're all conversing about.
I wanted to talk about
Conversations bounced around like you remember back in the 80s with the good heavy metal and nuclear assault, and they had a little bouncing ball that tried to follow the words, and it was like, Murr! That's the way the conversations went.
Yeah. No, I remember that. Absolutely.
So happy Back to the Future Day, everyone, again. I want to talk about the 1984 JVC GRC1 camcorder that they used in the movie because they were trying to record everything. And he was trying to record history as it was happening. Now we are able to live stream history as it's happening. Remember when the Biff Tannen gang crashed into the courthouse and they got arrested, but in an alternate timeline, Biff Tannen becomes the king of the land of the casino in the future, in the bad future timeline? And people are saying kind of reminds us of Donald Trump. So people are really upset that Donald Trump is correcting the misconstruction of the White House to make it have a
somebody
bigger
else
ballroom.
knew who nuclear assault was. Ha! Tugmo Studios.
We have smart listeners. We do.
We do. Eclectic tastes.
Yes.
That's old school heavy metal when heavy metal was heavy metal.
Marcus is very upset about Trump's international hotel, ballroom, and casino being attached to the east wing of the White House.
Well, he just doesn't understand what's going to happen in that because he's a pure boy.
Mm-hmm.
Worth 2 Bitcoin. That's high value mail. Toasty, the reason that we started this podcast is to honestly go against people like the Crucible and like the red pills and whatnot, because those type of dudes pretend like they're manly, and these kids, because they've had zero example, a slightly more manly example than they are is impressive. So in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king, but there's actually much more manly things to be, and that example needs to be put out. And this is the whole reason we started this podcast and started doing this. But we can't get them sissy bitches to fight us either. And part of the reason is, i.e., example, us beating the brakes off them ortho bros. And we've actually been on other shows with them. Like I went on Easy's show and just smashed that whole little ortho junior crew and just crushed them. They made the video private. Not even membership. They made it private. Steve and I and Marcus have all been on videos that all got turned private with every one of with those guys. Every video we've ever been on with them.
Hey, just sorry to interrupt real quick. I think Chris got something he wants to say.
Get it, Chris.
Yeah, I was going to say, Alan, it's Back to the Future Day because of why? Say that again.
Because when he gets in to set the clock to go to a future past date, they set it to October 21st.
Ah.
So it collects that. And also Mallrats is 30 years old. You guys have seen that movie.
I knew that shit was gonna go somewhere
No,
crazy.
you didn't, Balderson. Shut the fuck up.
Marcus,
would you like a chocolate
You didn't know that. You didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that fact. I knew that was going to go somewhere silly because Marcus is on silly tonight. I've caught him fucking 3 times.
I had just shared a Back to the Future reference with Gabe over the changing of the Silver Surfer into a female in the newest Fantastic Four movie, and there was a headline referring to the Back to the Future, saying that we have to go back, basically, due to the horrible way, I guess, the CGI and the character is being portrayed by the female character. So I thought that was interesting because I just talked to him about that yesterday.
There is a female Silver Surfer. That ain't off track, but the problem is it's supposed to be Norrin Rad's wife, I think.
Yeah.
Not just some random fucking chick.
Yeah, it seems like they just switched out the Silver Surfer with the female. Didn't explain that it's like the supposed to be the girlfriend of the actual Silver Surfer and didn't really stick to the lore or something like that.
Yeah. They're doing that a lot lately. I don't know what the fucking problem is. It's like comics are such an easy fucking moneymaker. Just stick to the shit.
Yeah.
Well, it's because Hollywood is extremely liberal, so they're pushing that agenda down our throats on purpose. That's absolutely something that's happened. If you look at it, like transsexual stuff, in average America, most of us might see one or two of them once in a while. Then you look at Hollywood, and like every elite star in Hollywood, their kids are tranny. Everyone.
Every single fucking one of them.
Yep. You know,
every single one of them.
Yeah. So this is a wag the dog situation where they're trying to feed us what they want to give us, not what we want. And you'll see that in any franchise that has any success, as soon as that franchise has success or that show or whatever, then Hollywood will immediately insert said agenda into popular thing and then wreck said popular thing. And that's happened in the last 10, 15, 20 years so badly that Hollywood has basically collapsed itself, and they still keep doing it.
They got themselves so into it so fucking deep they don't know what to do. They can't get out of it.
Personally, I think it's being done on purpose.
Is.
I think it's being done on purpose. Destroy the culture, weaken, demasculate the men. It's all part of the whole globalist type of agenda. But it's weird too with this Silver Surfer being female. You're getting more and more of this white lady symbolism coming out in multiple different news stories across various venues. She's white, a white girl. But it's the white goddess. It's like the same thing they saw at Fatima supposedly back in the day. The same thing they saw. I can't remember, the other sighting was over somewhere near Spain. It's this like white alien goddess who, like, Whitley Strieber states that he saw. And this is who Avi Loeb is saying is coming on this freaking comet Atlas. It's just like a bunch of
CIA comet. The CIA Atlas comet.
Yeah.
Debris rock thing up there.
It's just, you're seeing a bunch of the occult influences on all of these stories sort of converge on this sort of.
It's conjuncted. The 3-eye Atlas is in conjunction with Earth through the sun. It's like directly behind the sun right now with planet Earth. Supposedly, if
during a new moon,
the space model. But I don't even think it really exists. I think that we can't see it. It's on the wrong side, the wrong hemisphere.
I'm quite sure it's a regular comet.
Yeah, I think that I think they lined up a whole bunch of magical numbers, and I think that it's a ritual. You know, like.
Has anyone asked Morgan Freeman yet?
Not yet.
Legitimate.
No, I mean, we can only have one magical Negro at a time, and I don't know who's claiming that role right now, if they're fighting over it or not.
Well, it's gonna conjunct with Jupiter as well, which is sort of the mother, you know, in one aspect. So it could be this mother goddess connection. 3-eye Atlas.
Explain the mother and Jupiter, please.
Yeah.
So Jupiter is a female. Let's see. It's
I've never heard that before. I've never heard Jupiter be put with a feminine touch on it. It's always been a masculine thing.
In most cosmologies, Jupiter is like the benevolent male. Like your Thor is attached to Jupiter.
For sure. Yeah.
You know, so I don't know where you're coming from with it.
There is a mother aspect of Jupiter, of a
is it because
mother.
of the benevolence of Jupiter? Because Jupiter, even though I usually hear it as masculine, is considered very benevolent and giving. It's the giver.
I think it's based on what's her name? The goddess of
Juno,
of war. Well, Juno too. Yeah.
Athena?
popped out through the head. You know, the goddess of strategy,
Yeah, that would be the Athena, right?
Athena
Did you say goddess of good head?
of good head.
Okay.
Well, good. That's a good point.
She satisfies her god.
But yeah, Jupiter is also
Ha!
We've been having some StreamYard fun tonight. I don't know if you saw me pop out and Chris popped out and just kind of crashed.
Just vanished.
StreamYard is just, I don't know, maybe it's on Amazon Web Services, and that's been having some DNS issues, having all of your important internet infrastructure all just in one facility on one sort of network of computers is not great. So now we're testing fault tolerance, but this looks like a great way to say, hey, Mr. King, with all the money, can we get some more money to build tolerance, fault-resistant infrastructure, more servers. We need more servers in our own country. We need to be in control of our own computers. And at some point,
we need to have our own TikToks.
Correct. So we're trying to get in control of all of our technology within the U.S. of A. I know that I think Instagram just announced that they had a teenage Instagram account setting, so you have to tell them you're a teenager. You got to tell them your birthday. You got to verify, and then parents somehow give their teenage daughters Instagram accounts for some reason. I don't know how that works. But probably not a good idea, but they're gonna get one anyway. I don't know how that works. So we have all this technology, and we're using it for fun, for profit, for all the ways we can socialize. And adding to that, I think Sam Altman, the OpenAI guy, Altman, didn't he just say he was going to start allowing verified adult users to have erotic encounters with its AI chatbots?
Yep.
That was going to be allowed and paid for.
Yep.
I was getting it for free on Instagram with their chatbots, but
right.
Maybe the paid experience is better, but maybe they patched that up. They all wanted to marry me. I don't know why.
Yeah,
because he's got a $5 foot long. We know the answer.
It's all going very Deus Ex Machina, like the film Ex Machina.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen said film.
Oh, it's pretty
Is
good.
it on Tubi?
I'm
What
sure.
is it about?
With Oscar Isaac and some other British guy, and I guess Oscar Isaac wants the British guy who's a programmer or coder to come look at the AI tech he's been working on, and he has these AIs who are actually embodied. They have they're robots basically, but they look partially human and they're speaking intelligently, and somehow the AI, I don't want to spoil it all, but the AI eventually tricks
I'm probably never gonna watch it, so you're not spoiling it.
he tricks the coder, or she tricks the coder into thinking she's being held captive there, and that he may not even be real. He may be an AI, and it's just this whole huge
big old epic mindfuck.
Yeah, big old epic mindfuck, and he actually does what he should have never did and not trusted the first guy who brought him in there, who was a human, and he listened to the AI and winds up being a disaster.
So this is all about the simulation theory.
Well, I mean, I don't even know if it even has to be thought of as going that deep, but I'm sure eventually it would get to that point. This is just more like a.
Well, wouldn't the simulation theory people be then the people that actually had control in reality but didn't believe reality was reality because they believed that this was a simulation because you're listening to the AI? Wouldn't that be the same story?
Matrix theory, pretty much.
Yeah, the only thing was that in this film, that was a minor point, which was more of a manipulative point used by the AI so that the AI would get the kid she was talking to, the programmer, to let her out of the room so that she could then kill her maker and escape into humanity. So it was like less of a philosophical debate. It was more of like a trick she was kind of pulling him by pretending she had emotions and whatnot.
I was just taking the storyline. Yeah, it does sound pretty cool.
I think they won an Oscar with that movie, right?
All right, now, dude, tell us about this female Jupiter.
So I was thinking the Juno, yes, Minerva. It's the husband and wife, but it's the gracious god and the loving mother goddess of wisdom.
Like a nanny state situation.
A nanny state situation. And Atlas being like a pillar that's holding up the sky. Perhaps.
Like an Atlas sort of thing?
Yeah, trying to crash the pillar that holds up reality, the third hidden magical pedestal in the Masonic tracing board is could be Atlas.
Is Atlas the literal dung beetle who's got a pile of polished shit and a giant ball he's carrying on his shoulders?
It's Mithras, right?
I think that's Avi Loeb.
Okay.
But
man with all the shit on his back.
There's so much like tie over and bleed through and contradictory things with goddesses and gods and everything. I often thought it'd be so much easier to have to make some flashcards for gods and goddesses, but you just can't because there's no like straight answer for everything.
Yeah,
I think that comes down to a lot the way we talk about things a lot. I mean, just think about how we go about modern politics and everything like this. We've all got our opinions. We've all got our viewpoints and everything like that. And sometimes that just gets assimilated as it gets passed down. And we kind of forget what the plot point was from the beginning,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and then I think there's a purposeful muddying of the waters. So if you look at the more recent occult figures, like I'll use Jordan Maxwell as an example. He tries to mush everything together, and this has been happening for quite some time. And it makes like this homogenized soup of shit. And it takes all the meaning out of all of it. Like anytime you look at these figures, I'm a Odinist, so I'm most familiar with Odin, with that pantheon and whatnot. But like you take Freya, they'll call Freya the goddess of love, the goddess of war, the goddess of magic, the goddess of fertility, blah blah blah. Well, she's definitely there. If you then go reference the actual literature, in the stories, she's definitely about magic. Odin learns magic from her. She's not particularly about love. If you look at her stories, the primary stories about her include where she's always beautiful. She's very beautiful. So lust and beauty could definitely be attributed to her. But the thing that the big overwhelming story that she's the main character of, she falls in love with this necklace called Brissengamer, and it's a very pretty shiny. And in the quest to get this, she sexually lends herself to dwarves and other things in order for the promise of getting this Brissengamer. Well, after she comes home, after getting this pretty shiny, the most beautiful thing in the world, she finds that her husband has up and left. He rolled out. And she spends vast quantities of time away from Asgard, where she is looking for her husband and never is able to find him because he won't let her find him because he's done with that bitch because she hoard herself out for a pretty necklace. And so in no way does that tie to love. she doesn't have a bunch of kids. Like you look at other goddesses that are fertility, like Artemis, when she has the many breasts, so like 100 beings can all breastfeed from this mother goddess figure. None of that exists in her stories or anything. She has 2 children, and her 2 children are both named after greedy, lustful things. So the thing that you would maybe attribute to her is magic, lust, things like that. She's not a war figure. She's never in war in any of the stories. And in fact, in Ragnarok, the story of Ragnarok, none of the female gods are there, because female gods, despite the modern reinterpretations where they're trying to make shield maidens into these warriors that ran out with men and went to war, that wasn't a thing.
Yeah, and see, that's what I'm talking about. It's like a lot of it just kind of gets warped as it goes through time just a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I think when we got to about 0 to 33 AD, I think we got put back on track. And then, of course, everybody had their big old powwow, and they said, "Yeah, we're gonna bury all the old shit." And then in about the 1900s, we dug up all that old shit, and now it's all confused again.
Yeah. Well, it's modern reinterpretation. Some of it, I think, purposeful. Some of it not. Some of it, yeah, we'll definitely be somewhere, Chris. Even if we're not in here, and you can get an invite to the after party.
All right, that sounds good. I'll hit y'all up when I get back around.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thank you.
Brother. Good seeing you.
Nice to meet you.
And have a good night, Chris. Have a good night, Steve.
Good night, Steve.
Some of it's purposeful, some of it's not. Some of it is that today's culture doesn't understand the culture of that time. And every culture, there's a whole lot that is because of the culture that makes the meanings of the words. So like if you take, let's say English becomes a dead language 500 years from now. Well, if they tried to re-establish the understanding of English and they come across the word fuck.
Right.
Well,
it's like the word hate. It's like the word hate. Like I was actually watching a little video on the from Tim Bob the other day, and he was talking about like what do we actually mean by the word hate, and what did they actually mean by the word hate? Because the way they understood it and the way we understand it are 2 different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot of that going on there too.
That's what I'm saying. And like you even take something like fuck, that could be a noun, a verb, an adverb, an adjective, whatever you want it to be. Where I'm from a very, very rural area, backwoods as hell. We say fuck or fucking. Actually, it's usually fucking as a space filler, where some people go or ah or whatever. We'll say fucking. And we'll literally use that as a space filler. It wasn't even part of the sentence or nothing. Well, if this was a dead language, and how do you go back and interpret that correctly without having that culture, that understanding that maybe that word was just getting said as a space filler even?
Right. Are you guys all fixing to crash or what?
I don't know yet.
It's only 9, probably not.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
You're obligated to go or stay. I mean, any guest, usually we expect our guests to stay for about 2 hours, but anything after that, we just appreciate you hanging out, and we've enjoyed our time with you, and it's been a cool conversation. But do we expect the 3 of us all came together in this show called Weaving Spiders Webs. And we used to stream for like 6 hours on a regular basis
every week.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I was just wondering because I was kind of reading the back chat. So
yeah, we're just kind of figuring out.
Well, Chris had to go do something, and Steve's
got a morning show.
Stayed longer than he normally does.
Yeah.
He usually Steve does his show's called AM Wake Up, and so he's got to get up early and go do a show. And Steve has like 6 shows, Like, he does a ridiculous amount of shows. Him and I are very good friends, and we just started this thing. But like his normal show was the biggest show on Rockfin for the longest time.
All right.
Like he's got a lot bigger shows to do than hang out here all fucking night.
Yeah. You know what? Nah. Now we're gonna clown him so that way we can start some more drama.
Start clown Steve?
Yeah.
Of course.
How dare you, Steve? How dare you want to go do some other stuff than hang out with us?
Steve and I have lived together. Fucking there ain't gonna be no drama. He'd just laugh at us. Like we literally lived together.
We are planning.
Actual mad that we were like almost nose to nose, like spitting it, like not spitting, but spit talking. Where you're so angry, it's like into each other's faces, and it's nothing but love between us.
We are planning an open panel to as many seats as we can fill for a Halloween costume Jesusween harvest celebration thing.
Jesusween.
Mm-hmm.
Rachel!
So that will be on Tuesday. Next Tuesday, October 28th. So if you're looking for a link and a good time to jump in, be ready as soon as we go live.
We're going to do an actual open panel. I know to you, Toasty, this is probably kind of appeared like an open panel, but this is typically me, Marcus, and Steve do a show every Tuesday. Jim, we would normally, like I just said before, do a show with Jim, but Jim got married and had a baby, fucking quit the band, told us we're not cool anymore. No, just kidding. He did get married and have a baby, and
he had a lot of songs, and he wanted to do a solo album.
Started a whole foundry to smelt metal and stuff. So he was busy, and now Jim's starting to have more free time, so we get to have his presence back with us again. Yeah. And we are happy to have it as much as we can, knowing that he is an extraordinarily busy man because he's a good family man.
That's good. Like I tell anybody, your family comes first if you got one,
Yep.
You gotta take care of the family, man.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Exactly. I'm just gonna give another shout out to all y'all's chat. Remember to like and subscribe to all these fine gentlemen up here. Just to let you guys know, we are at the 3-hour mark.
Toasty, do you have a channel that you're looking for subscribers on?
I don't have a hard channel now. I just kind of bumble around from place to place. I'm working on that though.
Yeah, it's a weird thing because 2020, like you and I were talking about in the back chat, like you literally seen. Oh, and what I was going to finish saying is Chris also a friend of the show. So we would normally be on the panel. We don't usually have open panels. You were a guest that we invited, but we didn't open up to where anybody can come up. But what Marcus is talking about, where anybody's going to be able to come up, actual open panel, something we don't normally do. It'd be great. Yeah. And but yeah, Jim normally would have been in a show with us all the time. Anyways, he has other obligations. And like you said, those obligations come first, or else.
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely respect anybody who takes care of their family. That's good.
Yep.
Well, thanks.
It's a blessing. Like I was somebody who grew up in a single mother household, and there was all that stuff that was just real hard. And I mean, like single mother parenthood fucking sucks. So if you guys can be there for your kids and all that stuff, absolutely, man. Absolutely do that shit.
You betcha.
Yeah, thank you for saying that.
Yeah, no problem.
It's nice. Our son went to bed with a dude's shirt tonight. It says dudes on it. Happy dude.
He's a spider dude.
He's a spider dude. He's a dog.
Yeah,
primarily you guys can find me fucking around on Discord. I run all over the fucking place. I get invited all sorts of fucking places, especially ever since this fucking weird ass drama happened.
Oh, dude, it's really is it really was a while. It's been a wild like 4 days, and the way that these dudes are just, you know what? It's weird because all the things that the crazy libtards accuse them of, they just proved them right. Like Andrew absolutely is this complete asshole that's willing to fucking, if he was given a large amount of authority, he would wield that as poorly as possible. And all he's proved is like when we were debating and Steve's like, all you are is the right wing destiny, and fucking they pretend like they aren't, but you guys are also completely polarized, completely zealots. Like
it's like Dusty was saying, like they pretend like they're all fucking loyal to each other, but they're really just a bunch of fucking hyenas ready to eat each other.
You betcha.
Like Andrew Wilson is Scar, and then everybody else is fucking hyenas. And then after he's got nothing left to fucking offer, they're gonna turn on him.
Are you calling the Ortho Bro Orbiters Disney adults in a clever way?
Oh, dude, they're all video gamers is what's crazy to me. All of them. Mm-hmm. Like they act like they're manly, but freaking Andrew's arms, his forearms are the same size as his wrists, and they're doughy looking. And Rob has man tits and looks like he's as round as he is tall, and breathes like a whistle. Like,
did you see the Republican leaked chats that were spreading? People were saying these Republicans are on their Discord server saying the stupidest things, and they leaked their photos, and they're all like, what do they all have in common? I think they eat yoga mats from Subway for lunch. At least 6 of them. They're just they have this physiognomy where they don't really have a neck, they don't have a clear defined jaw. It's just sort of a blob of a thing, and then they're all going into this this nationalistic right-wing extremism sort of thing, and there's a physiognomy there. It's like, you guys know about horseshoe theory?
Yeah.
There's a horseshoe, and then both ends end up just touching. So it's like extreme left, extreme right at some point. They get so extreme, they go around the globe again, and now they look exactly alike. And there's everybody else spread out who's, all different sort of body shapes and things. But these people all just sort of tend to be like, they don't get sunlight, they don't eat proper nutrition, they just sort of exist, and then they only exist online. So all of their skills are Discord chats and things. And then the unhealthy aspect of the Panelverse is Sunday night, Saturday night, Monday. It doesn't matter what day it is, 12 hours in a group chat. And then they sleep and they wake up and log back in and they're plugged back in. So, I mean, it provides social interactions until it becomes an unhealthy coping mechanism for not dealing with the big real world out there. And they're frightened of these things. So then when they are in the chat rooms supporting their heroes, their champions, and cannot understand how Andrew Wilson,
it's really honestly a thing that you don't understand until you've been behind the scenes. It really is. It really is. Until you, just for example, walked a mile and say, like, Sarah's shoes, put something fucking together, watch how all the shit fucking fell down, then you really fucking start seeing who's who and who's what.
Yeah, there's a shaking of the foundation. The weak hands showed their hands too soon. They forced the Eschaton. They immanentized the Eschaton of the Armageddon, the final battle of the Panelverse. They were just tired of doing it. They ran out of interesting talking points. Their audience was going off to do other things, and they needed to instigate some new drama for the wrestling match to try and.
Well, and also I think Rob just was more self-important in his own head than what anybody else feels about him, and he's now, and that got shown, and he's mad. He wanted special Rob treatment. Sarah said, no, you get no special treatment. He threw a temper tantrum. Then he went on another show and again didn't get special Rob treatment and was like, fuck this. I don't need these people. I'm bigger and better than these people. No, you're not, Rob. Like, Even you are just now hitting 20,000, and that's after a giant push. Andrew said on air that he sunk a bunch of money into it, put a bunch of resources. Like, that's not even organic. Nobody put money into my 5,000 ever, and YouTube actively held me back. And for years now, like, my other shit was huge, and this shit, they barely let me have it. It was my farm video channels, the only reason they didn't tank it.
Yeah, hey, here's the thing that really shocked me about Andrew's admission. Is he basically sat there and told everybody that he has to rig the fucking fights for the Crucible. He has to rig them so they can win.
How are the fights rigged?
That's the fucking point about owning Sarah.
Yeah, dude.
How are they
Andrew
rigging them?
agreed to debate us, backed out of the debate, and then made a giant stink on, and we got into a fight about it on X. And I kept proving Andrew wrong. And then Andrew at the end of it was like, oh, well, you're nobody. You know, that's why I won't debate you. Like, fuck you, dude. You just debated Radical Coder like 6 times in the last fucking 2 weeks. And that dude's only got at the time, only had 700 fucking subs. I'm like, and it would get like 13 watches on a show. I'm like, don't give me that bullshit.
Shout out to Radical Coder, who
I've
never
been
gave
on
up.
shows that had over 1 million subs. Fucking fuck you, Andrew.
Well, Radical Coder has not given up, continues to stream.
I wasn't trying to sit on Radical Coder with that. I was just using it as an example that he went on much smaller platforms than what I have and had no problem with that. Right. It's that he didn't want to debate me. And then Jay Dyer was friends with Steve, and Jay Dyer backed out of a debate, and then Rob Nord backed out of a debate, but then forgot who Steve was. And Marte didn't know about any of that, and Marte agreed to that debate and walked them into a fucking landmine.
Yeah, no, look, like, Radical Coder, he says a lot of stupid shit, but here's what I'll give him admiration for. He's got that fucking spirit to fight his fucking fight to the last bullet, and I will respect that about anybody. That goes miles with me. And that's one of the reasons why I chose him, is because I knew he was going to bring a fucking fight, that he was going to fight to the last fucking bullet. And I was going to give him a space where he could fucking do that, where without people fucking booting him and all kinds of shit. And he could finally get something off his fucking chest.
Yeah, no, we've had him on our show to debate also. It's like, I don't agree with him a lot of times, but I think he actually wants the best for people. He's just misguided.
Yeah, he's definitely got heart in the right
way. I think he's got heart, and I think the dude's got more balls than any ortho bro. He'll show up for the fight. He don't care if it's 6-on-1. He'll show up.
Absolutely, I'll agree with that. Absolutely. I'll put it like this. He's got his heart in the right place and his brain in the wrong one.
Yeah, brain's a little scrambled, but heart and balls, them are right where they should be as far as I'm concerned with that one, which I think the ortho bros, none of the things are in place.
Well, I think it'll be interesting to see. I'm not going to say specifically Radical Coder, but other people who jump into the panels, open panels, try to do their own channels with their own content, putting it out, but to see their journey through discovering new sources. We mentioned a bunch of books tonight, and now people are going to have to go to Tubi to watch the Potash documentaries, the CIA drugs weapons documentaries on Tubi. And then now you've got that perspective. So once you understand how the CIA with drugs and music and culture, what all that means.
Oh no, we can't let Jim back in either.
Absolutely. I think
now when you're debating, you don't have blind spots anymore. You don't have these blind spots. So if we know you know the information, we can call you out and say, you know this information. You can't debate around it. You have to face the information directly. These are the facts. This is the reporting of actual events. This is the journalism. This is the research. This is what it is. So you can't just say, have to ignore those facts anymore. Now that you've understood them, then how does your worldview change? And how does your debate change? If you go back to a prompt from 2 or 3 years ago, would you debate it the same? Would you even debate that prompt? Would you agree with your adversary or opponent at that point on some of the points? Or is your worldview set in stone and there's no wavering from it. There's no changing from it. And if you can't argue according to the book, then there really isn't an argument. It's just it becomes more of this is what the book says. You aren't living by this particular book. And we would say, well, we read a lot of different books. So let's...
Well, the other thing that you tell with them is if you don't give a polarized answer, they'll become super dishonest. So my example would be he tried trapping me into is PDF file worse than holding a loaded gun to a pregnant woman's stomach, is what he said, is what he put as a query to me. And so I had to clarify, because I'm an honest person. I'm not trying to stand up for some group or some ideology. I'm trying to be, honest and be real about shit. So I had to think about it, and I was like, I said, I don't know. I said, I think if it was like a prepubescent person, we would need to clarify, because I think if it was a prepubescent person, that's probably much worse. I said, if it was like we're talking about, it was a 16 or 17-year-old and a 25-year-old or something. Well, I don't know if I think that probably the gun thing is worse. And he said, well, what about a 13-year-old? And I had to stop and think about it. And I said, well, I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Like, and honestly, at that age range, I think it would probably be in this weird gray area where it would kind of more depend on the individual, because some like 13, 14, 15-year-olds are entirely more mature than some who are, potentially basically still children again. That's the area of the transition happening. And I don't really know how I would think about that. It's not like I've sat down and considered how I feel about the different levels of being a PDF file. Like, I'm just against it in general. So I don't like sit down and try and figure out how I feel about each particular flavor of it. Sure. And so I was just trying to give him an honest answer. So then he makes a little clip on thing that says he doesn't know. And he even said in the debate, oh, and he doesn't know about a 13-year-old getting PDF'd. And I'm like, do you always got to be so fucking dishonest and such a shitbag to try and win? That's a vulgar clip. You aren't really winning if you got to be dishonest and you're just trying to throw out propaganda.
Right.
How's that helping your point? And nobody else thought he was either.
I think Jim's trying to get back in.
Yeah, we do not have the power to get Jim back in. So what we could do is we could redo it and restart the show, or we could just call it a night. If you want, if you're about done, Toasty, we could just call it a night, and we'll go over.
It's a Tuesday night.
If you guys ever want to have me come back and just chill with y'all, just shoot me an invite.
Yeah, no, we had a great time, Toasty. We would we wouldn't mind you coming back at all.
Absolutely, I had a great time. I had so much fun.
Well, fantastic. Well, you have a good night, and to all of our friends listening, you guys have a good night. We love you guys.
Take it easy, guys.
Take it easy.
Is this the end of the stream? Are we at the end? Do we have more prompts for debates? Should scientists be allowed to edit genes of wild animals? Should the EU not allow combustion engines? There are so many more topics that we want to get into. We want to get away from left versus right, U.S. politics and religion. There's so many more topics that we could figure things out.
Yeah,
I think that's probably what we'll continue to do. Next week is open panel.
Next week we'll get back on target, and we've been having fun. So, but love you guys. Again, happy birthday yesterday to Tony.
Happy birthday to Tony.
Jim, we'll be at the after party. Love you guys.
Good night, YouTube.